Pump and repump. Here we go. Here we go. We're back.
Dang.
Look at us. We got our posters. We got our TV. I got my moo moo milk. My little baby mic.
Yeah.
I think
Don't worry, it looks small, but it packs a lot of punch.
yeah. Has some nice
Like-
ocean motion.
Yeah, like a lot of things in my life.
Nice. All right, let me see here. Let's bring this up. So I think we're gonna start with the D&D.
Yeah. Well, okay, we'll get to the D&D, right?
Oh,
What did I want? God damn it! What did I want to talk about? I'm blanking now that we went live.
Nice.
Well, I guess we're gonna go.
Well-
an update on this food journal that I've been trying to maintain.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that.
It's slacked a little bit.
Yeah.
I've been putting it in there, but it doesn't have the weight behind it. Like it's not like, hey, I'm gonna be presenting this at the end of the week. It's just for me.
Yeah. So it matters less suddenly.
Yeah. It's not. I've been keeping it, but
Yeah, but you're not. Well,
I'm still doing 2 cookies instead of 4. So I
that's
guess
huge.
that's something.
yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, like, right, you did it once, and so you saw, like, hey, there's fucking results here, just for like, and realistically, like, right, like every time, even I think most people, right, like I for sure, like I go and grab 5 or 6 cookies. I can get away with 3 and be happy with that, right? I can be happy with
Right.
having 3 cookies. It's really just like the treat of having a cookie. I don't need 12 of them, but sometimes
the
my
fat
little
part of my
glutton
brain
ass.
just wants the 12. That's the problem.
Yeah, my little glutton ass. I'm like 12. I could put down like 20 of these. I'm holding back.
Okay. Anything else lingering from last week? We had a banger of a show last week, I felt like, and a lot of people enjoyed it. So I feel like we kind of have a lot to live up to.
Yeah, that's always
I
the,
don't want to peak at episode 11, but
that's always a problem when you start doing well, you know? Can I keep doing better?
It may be a problem for me mentally if I think, man, we had a good show. I don't know if we could beat that instead of, hey, we had a good show. Let's do another one. Let's keep going. It was like, shit, I don't know if anybody can put these. I don't want any expectations put on me. Okay.
That is
okay,
such a
so-
classic Stas.
Yeah. I have to get my mental right in a variety of ways.
Yeah, me too, buddy. Me too.
Okay, so last week's homework, we had 2 pieces of homework. One was we'll get to that later, but my piece of homework for both of us was to take a bunch of people from our community and
Judge them.
judge them, assign them a D&D race, class, and alignment. And so we both did this.
Yeah.
And we have about 13 people apiece, 3 of which each of us did on our own. Like that we don't have both of them, but the other 10 we both share so we can compare.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first 3 we'll do a piece. Get our little spreadsheet up.
Okay.
Did you adjust the columns like I asked
I know.
you to?
I don't know how. I don't know how to operate this. I need you to hold my hand.
Okay, bring it up on the screen, kid. You just drag it. Okay? This is not rocket science. You go up to the A, B, C, D of the columns. You go to the indentations that separate them, and you drag them around to make them bigger, man.
Yeah, like right here. Should I be getting something right here?
What are you loading this in? Chrome?
Yeah. How else do you load it?
I don't know, man, but okay, did you click on it? Go to the edge. It doesn't change. Yeah, it should change.
Yeah, suddenly I'm not so dumb, am I? You probably have some perms on it, Stas.
I need you to calm down.
You have perms on it, and then you try to make me look stupid.
I don't think it's locked.
It says right here, is this gonna dox you? It says right here,
Anyone with this link, hold on, done. Reload the page. You should have been able to do stuff with it.
Still can't.
Can you write in there?
No. It says view only mode.
Can you
Request
change view only mode?
request edit access.
Yeah, do that.
Ask owner. Hey, buddy. We're live streaming this. Can I have perms? Perms?
Don't give me that perms bullshit. You're not even signed into an account. You're anonymous goose.
No, I'm not. This is my thing.
Well, you're anonymous goose in my life. Viewer. Editor. I changed it. We're done. Okay, reload the page. You're good.
It's doxing you hard. Quit doxing me. I hate this. Showing my email and shit. Okay, here we go.
Uh-oh. Yes, if you have any complaints, ladies and gentlemen, email.
What?
Email base.
No.
Email says at. Okay.
Stop. Race, we don't need that much room for race. Class, we can bring that down quite a bit too. Try to get this all fit in.
Okay, we're getting there. This should have been taken care of, but this is what it is.
Why
about
is
adding
alignment
the
so
visual.
long? Yeah, we weren't gonna have this was a last minute decision,
Yeah,
guys.
the visual was added last minute. What are you? Okay, first off, God damn it, this definitely isn't going to top last week. The spreadsheet isn't even. We can't even see the whole thing in your screen. Okay, do control mouse wheel.
I already did it, dude. I'm on top
okay.
of this shit.
Okay. All right, I think we're ready.
It's a little mess.
Zoom in a little bit.
Well, I did. These are the options, man. This is what you get.
This
okay.
is fine. It's good. We're good. Okay, that's good.
Okay.
I like it.
This isn't
Dang.
so big.
Okay. So we each did our. Okay, let's start. We each did our parents. Okay, and then we did one other person. One person that we're each like more familiar with.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you
Yeah.
did Yuki. And
Yeah.
I did Jim because he's
Jim.
he's the benefactor of this stream. Okay, so go ahead. Start with your whatever. Which one of your parents?
You. Oh. Scotty too hottie, dude. Let's see, Scott. I gave him human. There's Jim. Hey, Jim. Thank you for the gift to sub to Herc. Class. This text is huge, bro. Oh, I just broke it. There we go. Benefactor. He loves it. I gave him a human paladin. Lawful,
Paladin,
of course.
huh? Okay.
Lawful, of course. Yeah. He's a man of God. Very religious man. He's pretty strong. Oh, subscribe with a Prime. Thank you. Thank you, Human Stick Observer, for the Prime. Yeah, so he's very religious. He's a very confident, strong person, very self-sacrificing to a fault. Like a paladin.
Okay.
Awful paladin.
Frank.
You typing this?
He is a what?
Are you typing this?
No, oh yeah, I can type this. Well, I gotta hold the mic so close to my face.
What, you hold the mic the whole time?
Yes.
No,
Everybody has so many
shut
problems hearing me. Okay, Frank is a lawful halfling cleric. Okay, and halfling because we're short people. All right.
Sure.
However, he's not. I wouldn't describe him as a person of God, although he would claim to be something. He'd claim to be Catholic, but they don't go to church, right? Instead, what Frank does is that he preaches the word of constipation. Okay, if you have a problem, he will talk about bowel movements with you. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if he doesn't know you. He will talk about bowel movements. Okay, he will talk about making sure you don't get constipated. He'll give you a book on it. Okay, that's he's like a traveling constipation missionary.
Yeah, black pepper. Don't fuck with black pepper, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Well, he can't do salt, but he also can't do black pepper. Black pepper is a recent addition to his diet restrictions because it, according to Frank, it gives him a headache.
Wait. The black pepper gives him a headache?
Yes, causes headaches.
Okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting link. That's an interesting jump. But before that, you said he doesn't do salt?
Not a lot. He'll do a little.
Oh, okay.
You
I mean,
think
you gotta
he
have
less
salt.
in recent days.
Your body
There's
needs salt.
Yeah, I know, but you get salt just by eating American food. You don't need to.
I mean, I
add a lot
guess,
of-
yeah, if you're having a lot of, like, not home-cooked stuff, right?
Okay, next.
Next. Oh, we got Mama. My
Yeah.
mom. Her name is Chris. She is a... What did I read this written down? Human. Oh, watch this. This is
I'm
good.
glad my mom doesn't watch this because
She's not getting human.
no,
She's a druid.
I can't. You already have 2 humans. There is 1 human in my list.
I have a lot of overlap on races, but I didn't overlap on any of the classes.
Well, who cares? Okay, talk to me.
Oh
about
yeah,
Chris.
oh yeah, it's cool now. Okay, listen. She's loving and caring, and capable of shapeshifting into whatever she needs to, whether it's a mama bear or a naguar.
Okay.
She nags a lot.
Okay.
But bless her heart, it's in her heart, you know, it's in the right place.
Okay. My mom is a.
Oh, 1L? What the fuck is a Yuan T?
Yeah, it's 1 R. It's 1 L. Sorry. She's a neutral Yuan T artificer. Yuan T are the snake people.
You made her a snake?
She got that because here's the deal. In her day, she had that acid tongue.
Oh, she had the venom blame?
She had not venom blame tongue necessarily, but she just had an acidic tongue.
Yeah.
All right? She will chew you out. She will chew anybody out. All right. She'll go off on a person, anybody. If I could have done class of pirate, I would have made her pirate. Okay. Because she gets colorful with it. You know?
The old sailor.
Instead I made her an artificer because I feel like artificer is the closest to a crafting sort of profession. She crochets, she bakes, she does a lot of that stuff.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and she's neutral. I got stories, but that we can get into that at a later date.
There's a reason for it.
She's not lawful like Frank. Okay, go ahead.
She still does. I'm telling her, you're in trouble. Jim's about to rat you out. Okay, now we got Yuki. Yuki, I gave her a gnome artificer. Should capitalize these, huh? Let's get some consistency. And I gave her lawful because Yuki is like probably the most disciplined person I know. She's just like so on top of her fucking art, artificer, so she's always creating art. Like this, and a gnome because she's short. She's a short little thing. So she's a little shorty with crafting shit daily, you know? Disciplined about it. Devout.
Okay, I like it. Okay.
I feel like yours are funnier.
Half elven. Yeah, that's the point of this, it's to be amusing. He's a half elven fighter. Lawful, I believe. Let me double check my list. Yes. He's a lawful half elven fighter. All right. He's a military vet. Okay, that's where the fighter side comes from.
Oh shit, okay.
Long time. And he's half elven because on the one hand, you would think, you know, he likes the Bills, he likes the Yankees, he likes, you know, to relax with a drink. You know, you would think like standard human stuff, right?
Yeah, rum and
But
Crystal
he also
Light.
has a deep reverence for Lord of the Rings, you know? So there's that aspect of it. So that's why I gave him half elven.
Oh shit, dude. I don't think I understood the assignment.
Yeah, you not understanding the assignment is the show. I don't know if you understand that.
What do you mean the show? You were banking on me doing this?
Oh my god! Get your
Jimbo, thank you for the gift sub to Larla.
Yes, thanks, Jim. It provides us with a lot of the comedic moments.
The comedic moments of me being boring?
No, nothing like that. Okay, so let me just. Okay, now we have the ones we have in common. Do you want to do me and you last, or do you want to do me and you first?
Let's do them last.
Okay, so let's go with Knox.
Yeah, top to bottom, and we'll just put us at the bottom. All right,
Yeah.
Knox. Here's what I got. I got a human. A human.
Oh my God, with human. Can you get at least a little creative?
No, we're all. I had a mom human, a dad human. What do you think they made out? Like, you think somehow they pumped out a dragonborn? They're all humans. We're all humans.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
he is loved. He is loved, but that doesn't take away the truth of the matter. Okay, go ahead.
All right, neutral human monk. Nox is probably the most indifferent motherfucker ever. Like, you could ask him about shit and he just doesn't give a fuck about anything, so that's why he's neutral. And he's a monk because he's often found on a solo journey. Every time we play a fucking game, he is
That's good.
solo
Okay, I
dolo.
like that. Sure.
And then a human because mom and dad are humans.
That is the worst. I don't think all three of you are the three siblings on this list are all different races for me, but okay.
I can't wait to see
So
this.
Nox, I have a gnome warlock, and he's neutral.
A warlock.
Gnome because he's easygoing. I mean, he's into gnomes. He likes gnomes. That's one part of it, but also because gnomes are easygoing or whatever. I think they have D&D gnomes are like what halflings were in like Lord of the Rings or something. I don't know. There's some overlap there.
Wait, Lord of the Rings halflings? They have halflings?
No, they don't have gnomes in Lord of the Rings.
No, but they have halflings?
Yeah, hobbits. That's where halflings come from. They used to be called hobbits, but due
hobbits.
to copyright, they turned them into halflings.
Oh. Okay.
Anyway, gnome because he's happy-go-lucky. Warlock because from an outside perspective, it's very hard for me to get a read on Nox. And I feel like Warlock is the most mysterious of the classes.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna give him gnome because yeah, he loves gnomes. I almost gave him gnome artificer because that's just who he fucking likes, right? But I'm like, no, that's not who he is though. That's what he likes. So I almost did the gnome. Then I'm like, no, this doesn't make sense. He came from two humans. He's gonna have to be a human.
Next is Lana.
Lana, ooh. Okay, so Lana is a dwarf rogue, and he's chaotic. Now, when we were talking about doing this, I told you that I made up a race, and then you were like, no, we can't do that.
Yeah, I said no made up races. We already had a gigantic expanded list of races from all the extra books they put out.
Yeah, well, what's crazy is like then I thought that it meant like no expanded list race. So everything for mine is from the basic list. But whatever.
Yeah.
This works out better. But I was gonna give Lana a troll. He was gonna be a troll because he is. But the rogue kind of deals with that, and the chaotic. Lana's like. Here's what I wrote down. He's a mischievous, charismatic pot stirrer that loves to have a good time and isn't shy around the beer.
That's true.
Dwarf beer, right?
Okay. Oh, the dwarf with the beer connection.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I like that. My Lana is a tiefling fighter who's also chaotic. So fighter because chaotic, I think, kind of goes with that self-explanatory. The fighter because Lana likes to pump. All right. He wants to get in there. He likes to get in the mix.
Yeah.
Right. He wants to battle. So that's why I put him as a fighter. Tiefling is because how do I put this? He's not inexplicably, I want to say weirdly, inexplicably, he's charismatic in a way you don't expect. You know? There's something charismatic about him, and I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it, but he's got it.
I can tell you what it is.
And tieflings are charismatic, but they're not like.
I didn't know tieflings were charismatic. That's a good.
Yeah, they get +2 to charisma.
Oh shit. Okay. I can tell you what it is. It's been a highly researched topic, and it's called the melon effect.
Oh, where the more of a dick you are, the more charismatic you.
Somehow it's like he's our dick, you know. He's just a good time.
You got that vibe.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
almost gave him rogue because of this whole sort of idea, but I felt like
he's mischievous. That's why I did rogue.
Yeah, especially with with the characters he picks in the games we play and all that. He's more of a fighter.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's next?
Herc. Ooh,
Herc.
Hercludes. I'm going Hank. Hank. Okay. Ooh, this one's good. Here we go. I got a half elf. Ranger.
Ooh.
And he's lawful. He's lawful as shit. He is insanely orderly. This man has a fucking this man has a Google Doc sheet for anything you could think of, like every movie he's seen or TV show he's watched.
For real?
Dead serious.
Oh, that goes well with what I picked, but okay.
Half elf is he has where did I write it? Oh, he has a heritage. He has a heritage of another world. I feel like I don't want to put too much on the street, but I feel like he has a little distance between him and his parents now. He's on his own, right? He's no longer with the elves. He's half elf. And then Ranger because he's athletic and naturey for sure. He's out taking hikes all the time. He used to be a rock climbing instructor.
I didn't know any of this.
Yeah.
This would have all been good knowledge before I put my shit in, but that's cool.
Sometimes we gotta guess.
Sometimes we do have to make guesses.
Wait till you see Cortex.
Yeah, for both of us. Okay, let's see. I have Herc as an elven wizard.
Ooh.
Let's see. What's his alignment? Neutral. Neutral because I didn't know. I couldn't say one way or the other, right? I had to go with neutral. Elven wizard because mostly Herc plays mages, right? That's what he for one, right? He
Sure.
plays mages mid. And he just kind of
Oh, this is good.
he kind of knows stuff, or at least puts out the aura that he knows stuff, like
He's a knower.
wizard would,
Yeah.
right? So I feel like
He's read some books.
Yeah, he would be in the books. That's why I give him Elven Wizard.
He's read some scrolls, maybe.
Yeah, he's been deep in the scrolls.
Let's see. Okay. Flexi.
Flexi.
I feel like a lot of people in stream might not know Flexi. Flexi's the older brother. He's been around much. He's been busy.
Yeah, says and acts his older brother.
We got a human surprise. Bard.
You and this human nonsense, but okay.
Bard. Well, I'm not gonna change it now. It's already done.
Okay, fine.
Bard. He's also lawful as shit. All right.
God damn it. This is our close. I think this is gonna be our closest one. But
Nice. Okay, so he's charismatic and ambitious. Human bard, right? The lawfulness, he has a crazy level of kind of just not literal OCD, but he gets super just min-maxy about shit. Gets very involved, and he also is a musician. He always making music, jamming in his room like a bard, waiting for his big break, you know?
Yeah. Nice.
In many different arenas.
I have Dragonborn Bard. Lawful. Okay, so when I was looking at Dragonborn, because I'm like, who the fuck would I make Dragonborn? You know what I mean? They're fucking dragons. But when I was reading the little blurb, it says they're constantly on a search for self-improvement.
Ooh, that's good.
And I'm like, I think that fits Flexi because he's always was fussing with his diet and whatnot. Like he's doing that. So he's got that kind of mindset.
That's the min-maxing.
Like in his job, he's leveling up. You know what I mean? He's trying, he's going for stuff. So I figure, okay, he's a Dragonborn. Bard because yes, he does the music. And lawful because he's trying to make those moves in the world of business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's playing the game.
He's playing the game.
All right.
Next is Moon.
Oh yeah. Okay, Moon. I gave her a halfling, cleric. I give her neutral.
This explanation.
I give her neutral. Yeah. Oh well. Okay.
Neutral. Okay. No. Cool.
Well, here's why. Right.
Okay. Tell me why.
I think that first off, halfling because she's short stuff, right? Short stack. But the neutral and the neutral is kind of like, I think she lives in a very chaotic environment, a very chaotic world, and she's doing her best to like find balance within that, right? She's trying to maybe bring more order to the to her life. So
Yeah,
that's where she's
full
kind of neutral.
midichlorians.
She's getting both. She's has both ends, so it kind of neutrals out. Is kind of what I was
Okay.
thinking. And then cleric is because she's literally trying to heal the world along the way. She's just trying to help everybody and take care of everyone, and just wants to be a positive little beacon of light.
Cool.
Two on the nose.
Okay. My moon is a fairy druid chaotic. It's in my mind, moon is if we're thinking chaotic, she's on the ass end of that seat. Okay. she's at the far end of that spectrum. Just wilding all the time, wilding.
Wait.
You just don't know what's coming out. You know what I mean?
For the record, if Moon is here, I didn't know we were going to extended races, or I would have put fairy too.
Okay.
I just need that little asterisk.
Druid, because she loves the animals. All right, she plays WoW simply to get mounts. Right, any MMO really to get the mounts with this. She gets in the Star Stables. She plays Game of Dragons. I don't even know what it's called. Dragonborn.
Farm.
I don't know what it's called, but it's the dumbest thing where you raise a dragon. All right, and she's a VTuber, so it's like a wild shape.
Yeah,
and she's got the cat ears or whatever. So I feel like
honestly,
she fits that druid.
Great insight on that one.
And she's got real Fey energy.
Yeah. Do you want to know another little fun fact to support you?
Sure.
Before streaming, she worked at a vet clinic.
Perfect.
Yeah. More animal shit.
Okay.
Man, God, the animal angle.
Next is Miss Merc.
Probably why she dumped me. Miss Merc. What? What do you got from Miss?
Nothing.
I'm just gonna put Merc because it says some weird overlap. Merc. Oh, I got a dwarf. Sorcerer.
Okay.
Neutral. I didn't really know what to do with the alignment. I think I could have gone lawful with it, but I didn't. I don't know. I wasn't convinced. So dwarf, because she hails from the mountainous regions.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, I see where we're heading with that. Okay.
And a sorcerer because she has a strong bloodline in conjuring up delicious foods.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. My Miss Merc is a human artificer.
God, another human.
And she is lawful. And she gets lawful because she dates cops. Okay? You don't get more lawful than that, all right?
She dated one cop.
I don't care. One cop and you're done. One cop and you're lawful. Okay? That's it.
Fucking ACAB bro over here.
Human, I don't know. For whatever reason, it just hit me like she's human. I feel like Montana's full of humans. You know what I mean?
No, they're full of dwarves. It's the mountain region. It's literally Spanish for mountain.
Anyway, she's an artificer as well because she's crafty. She's baking. She's doing all that stuff, and she's making wreaths. You know, she's doing that. She's concocting.
I like that. Hey, maybe your mom and her could hang out.
She's no stranger to a potion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they could craft some shit together for sure.
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
What do we got? Oh, Cortex. Here we go.
This was probably my hardest one.
Mine too. Okay. She is a elf class warlock.
Okay.
Neutral. For this I said she's tall for a girl, so she gets elf. And charismatic, but probably made a pact with something evil.
Okay. Okay. My Cortex is an Eladrin.
What the fuck are those anyways?
Ranger. And I think I have her as neutral. I did have her previously as a sorcerer, but as of last night, she's a ranger because she plays Wind Ranger. Right? She got that Wind Ranger energy. Eladrin, I may have this backwards. I may have it backwards, but they're from 4th edition.
Yeah.
I think, to my mind, they're like city elves, or maybe I have them backward. Maybe elves are city Eladrin, but I'm gonna go with the idea that they're city elves, that they're like not more
Oh,
civilized, but like live in cities or whatever. I don't know.
more liberal.
No, not necessarily, but because she lives in a big city.
I know, I
That's
know,
where
I
I'm
know.
going with that.
I'm just saying because cities tend to be more progressive.
Yes, that's true.
But they are like a form of elves, right?
Yes, they're both Fae, and there's I don't know how closely they're related, but they're both from the Feywild.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I didn't dig too deep. I'm not trying.
I vaguely, yeah, I vaguely remember because I think I played like a little bit of a campaign. It might have been Lilith
Yes,
Draper.
we played together.
Yeah, that's what it was. That I had an Eldrin or whatever you would say,
Um,
Eladrin.
yeah. Okay.
What do we got?
Last of the non-us is Bolt Boy.
Bolt Boy.
For those who don't know, Bolt Boy's a mutual friend of ours. Who he's a mutual friend of ours. I mean,
Yeah.
what else?
We
do
go
need
way
to say?
back. He was in the
Yeah, we do.
OG clan. Not that clan.
Okay, what do you got?
I give him an elf fighter, a lawful elf fighter, and here's why.
Okay.
He too, I feel like he's like the tall, pretty boy. You know.
Sure.
I definitely feel like he plays by the rules, right?
Uh-huh.
And I also think I gave him fighter because, sometimes it may seem like he's like living the quote unquote bread and butter life, but it's underrated. I think it's an underrated bread and butter life.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah, well, I hope he does if he sees this.
Eventually, I think you'll get around to it. Okay, I have Bolt as a half elf monk, lawful.
Oh yeah.
Nobody. And this one I had almost immediately because nobody hits monk like Bolt Boy does. Okay, he's a minimalist. He
Ooh.
tries to live a very disciplined life. He's as regimented as your brother about like his diet and like all up on the health stuff and all this other nonsense. Not nonsense, but it's probably great for him. But I can't be harsh with any of it. But that he like lives that monk lifestyle.
That's a
And
yeah.
he's spiritual.
I see
Half
that.
elf because he's tall, but he's tall to me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
He's 5'11". So in America, he's not quite 6. So that people don't consider that tall.
He's half
quote
tall.
Unquote. Yeah, he's half tall. Okay.
Okay.
Now me and you.
All right. I am just gonna do me. Base. No one knows who that is. Says. I gave myself surprise. Human.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Barbarian. Neutral.
Oh my God.
Did we hit? Are we in sync?
We are so close. Go ahead.
So I said barbarian because I'm very ambitious, sometimes a little too reckless, no stranger to diving into things head first, for better or for worse. Human because I have long lineage of human family members, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know why you had to stick with that, but that's fine.
I don't know what I was doing, bro.
Yeah, it's fine, I said.
It feels fine every time you bring it up. Oh, scroll down. I'm sorry. Good call. There we go. Oh, we're also my fat head's kind of blocking. Here, I can bring this over.
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, we don't need to
you
see
can
the
scroll
whole.
down some more.
We don't need to see. Yeah, I guess. Oh, no, you want to see them all, don't you?
Well, we'll get. Yeah, we can't
It's
do
fine.
that. All right.
It's fine. We don't need to see the
then
whole
nobody can read it.
lawful. We can just see an L.
Okay, what is your alignment?
It's neutral.
Not showing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how to fix
Okay,
that.
fine. Okay, you're good. All right. For me, you're an elven barbarian,
Nice.
and you're lawful.
Awful.
Elven because no motherfucker is more aloof than you. Okay, elves are aloof, and everyone knows that, and that's you. Okay, barbarian because you love to rage. Okay, you want to rage. You seek the rage out.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
And I got proof of that. 1 second.
Oh, I scrolled Twitter a couple times.
Okay. Here. Put that up on the stream.
What is this from? I don't remember saying this.
I know you don't remember saying this. You were in the middle of a barbarian raid.
I will never come down over my dead body, soup protein. Why was I calling you soup protein?
I don't know.
Well,
And I almost saved one from earlier today. The same. You were yelling.
it's just a little sass. A little
Anyway,
caps
yeah,
lock
so
sass.
you get the rage, and you're aloof. That's why you're an elven barbarian.
That could have been more
I
fitting.
could have easily made you chaotic. I could have made you any one of these alignments. I feel like you fit into them at different points.
I'm a little
But by and large,
shapeshifter.
By and large, you play by the rules. Okay, now me.
Oh, here we go.
Let me do me first before you do me.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. What do I got? Shit. Okay. Goblin. Fighter.
Fighter.
What am I? I put myself as neutral.
What?
Okay. So I did fighter,
Mhm.
okay, because I feel like I'm the subclass of fighter battle master that like does all the different commanding strikes and like has these sort of like control aspects.
Sure.
Okay.
You like controlling people.
I was considering, and looking by it, I was considering wizard, but I felt like that was a little presumptuous. You know what I mean? It felt like, I don't know.
Wait, hold on.
I felt like making myself a wizard was pretentious.
Hold on. I know what you're
do that.
saying, but like, so you're saying that wizards are better than fighters right now, so you had to give yourself the worst one?
Well, no, I don't. Like, I wouldn't consider. I think the battle master fighter goes along well with what I do. It's sort of supporty. It's sort of like lets people shine, but they can take a hit. And I play tanky. I like playing tanky motherfuckers. However, calling yourself a wizard, like assigning yourself the intellectual class, right? It just feels pretentious.
That is insane.
I don't know what it is about it, because we place as a people, maybe me personally, we place so much value on intelligence. It's like, hey, I'm a wizard, guys. You know what I mean? Like I got the smarts.
Well, we know who
Weird.
Stas thinks is really fucking smart then, according to this. Hank, you're a fucking wizard. And that is so prestigious, Stas could not bear giving. Can you get some self-confidence, damn it?
It's a different than assigning it to Herc than it is to assigning it to yourself.
It doesn't have to be. This is a
Also, I
fantasy
said
bullshit
that's just
game.
how he appears to be. I didn't say necessarily he was.
Oh, so you're calling him a fake wizard?
He gives that aura.
You're calling him
I don't know one way or the other.
a false prophet, dude. He's like he's that guy who walks around and he's like a level 1 like rogue, and he's like, guys, I'm a fucking high level
I have
wizard.
to mention the wizard thing because I can see by your list of classes. Okay, but go ahead. Do me.
Oh, you did were you doing that this? Okay, so Stas knows that I didn't reuse any classes, so you knew.
Well, no, I wasn't looking at it the whole time.
You
but
were. You're like,
now
what do you
just
give
looking
me?
at the list.
Goblin, obviously. Wizard.
Yeah.
We could have had this, Stas, except you're
I know.
fool
We
for
could've.
going
I didn't
neutral.
want to do that though.
You're a fool for
Oh, what
going
did you
neutral.
put?
Lawful. You were so fucking lawful. You were incredibly. You are principled, right? You are very. You love talking philosophy and like good and bad and stuff like that, right? And you're moralistic. Lawful for sure.
I went neutral because I feel like there's a time and a place for revolution.
Yeah, okay, that's fair, but I don't really see you leading that banner charge.
I'm in the mix.
Yeah.
I'm doing commanding strikes.
I gave you wizard. You're a librarian, or were, right?
Yeah.
You're definitely scholarly in many different fields. You're educated, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, you're still just a goblin, you know.
I'm still just a little fucking
I should
goblin.
just a goblin. You know what? Not just a goblin. You are also a goblin.
Fun fact. We were working. We had an idea for doing a comic called The Goblin King. You remember that?
I remember the Goblin King. I didn't think it was a comic. I thought it was like we're gonna do like a little book or
It was a
something.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Well, it
I
wasn't
don't
like
know
a
what
ongoing
media it
comic.
takes.
I guess a comic doesn't.
Yeah,
I think
or a
ongoing.
graphic novel or something along those lines. It was going to be illustrated.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a children's book necessarily.
Could be.
Okay, so that is our D&D
Breakdown.
listings.
Judgment.
Yeah, that's our D&D breakdown.
Yeah.
No, let's take a look at our list here. So, okay, you used every one of the classes. Cool. I don't have any paladins. I don't have any sorcerers, and I don't have any rogues. Rogue kind of for me, it's like it has weird connotations. The closest I came was Lana being a rogue, but a rogue in our world is like, a criminal. It's like I'm not trying to make anyone a criminal.
Well, yeah, but chaotic also isn't exactly like the most endearing.
I feel like there's a place for chaotic.
Yeah. You're
And
being a
it's Moon.
revolution.
Yeah, there's a place for chaotic, and it has moon written all over it. No paladins. Paladin's a weird one too, because it's like I don't know.
You fit cleric in there just fine.
I did, but that's because he's
Bowel
because
movements.
he's preaching the word of a leaky gut.
Leaky gut syndrome's. Yeah,
Yeah, it's real, and
that
if you
shit'll
talk
get
to
you,
Frank,
bro.
he'll tell you about it. He's got literature.
That's interesting.
And I don't have any sorcerers. Cortex I had as sorcerer, but I changed to ranger.
I crushed sorcerer. It just came to me.
Just felt right.
Yeah, well, she has their parents. Her dad runs like the butcher shop, right, or whatever, and makes all the delicious meats. And then she's over here making all these delicious baked goods with her mom. It's like you got a bloodline here, and it's making fucking food, good food.
Racially, I have 2 elves and 2 half elves, and that's the only overlap I think I have.
To be fair, I thought we were only using the base set. Okay, there was gonna be a lot of overlap.
Yeah, I'm glad I was using the base set at first too, but then I was like, "What the heck do I make my mom?" I guess I could have went halfling just
You
because
didn't
she's
tell me I
short.
typoed this, dude.
That's the easy way out.
I look like a fool.
Well, listen. I mean,
Art
you made
Fishier?
yourself look like a fool. I was going to correct it, but then I just said, "Hey, we got to keep moving."
Yeah. You would have
Okay.
corrected it if it was you. Fucking
Yes, because
wizard.
it would have been my own error.
Typical wizardry. Typical wizard play right there. That's for sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, maybe we'll revisit this when we expand our community, because we're going to get huge. I just know it.
Yep.
Yeah. And okay. Yeah, that's our list. Okay. Second bit of homework.
That was cool. That's
Yeah,
fun. That was a fun little thing.
It was fun to do. It was fun to fill out at least.
Yeah.
So, if you're into D&D or role-playing games, you can do this with your friends,
Yeah. Go check out D&D Wizards of the Coast. This is a sponsored stream. #ad.
Yeah, if I wish.
Would that be sick?
It would be sick.
They're probably fiending for our 10 to 20 viewers.
Yeah, they might be, but I'm trying to play Pathfinder these days, not
Oh,
D&D.
betrayal. Let's see
Plot
that coming
twist.
in. Yeah.
Okay. So next on the list is the other piece of homework. So Sez wanted to talk politics, and you know how this is gonna go.
I'm gonna be right, and Stas is gonna be embarrassed. It's not that I
something
want to
like
talk. Okay, hold on. Just for the record, it's not that I want to talk politics. It's that I see videos like this, and I think that people watch stuff like this, and they take everything as a fact, and then it just like there's more nuance to these conversations. I think usually,
Okay.
almost
so-
always.
Right. The idea was we're going to take one of these videos that says Barbarian Rages at, and we're going to go through the video, and then we're going to then we each independently fact checked the claims made in the video. Okay.
Sure.
However, I want to preface this, ladies and gentlemen, that Sez shared with me a video with 13 separate points. Okay. So he was like, yeah, let's do this. Let's go ahead and fact check this. I want to do this. He was passionate about it, and I will give him that, right? And I respect that about him.
It's the barbarian
However,
in me.
My immediate reaction was, it's 13 points. That's too many.
I thought we could
right?
gloss over it real
And
quick.
he's like, you certainly glossed over it right away. And they're like, no, man, it's fine. It's fine. So last Saturday is when I sat down and went through all the points that were made by this woman in the video that we'll show you in a bit. before we get to these. And then, I had to get on my elven friend's ass because I knew he hadn't started yet by then. Right. And I had to be like, hey, did you start this? And I half wanted, you know what? A part of me, the the evil part of me wanted to not say anything until today because I just had a feeling none of it would have been done.
No, I was gonna do it. But it was like it was a long weekend.
Anyway, so I made sure you started it. But when you were doing it, you're like, "This is too many. This is a lot."
It was so much time. I think I spent like 4 hours on this shit.
Oh, well, okay. First off,
Maybe
you
not
spent way
4.
more time
Maybe it was
than I
like
did.
2.
I don't know if we need to dive that deeply into each of these points, but fine. Are you okay? So let's go ahead and bring up the video so we can show people what the fuck we're talking about.
Let's we'll watch it through one time and then we'll go break it down step by step.
I'm going to try to make this as entertaining as possible because I don't know why else someone would listen to this.
What, to us talking about it?
Yes.
I don't know, just for interest's sake. America is a fascist country.
It's not. We can't see the whole thing, but it's fine.
Okay, wait, hold on.
That's the title of the video. We see her. She's going to be talking.
Okay, here we go.
Hi, so I never make videos like this, but I made a list of things that are happening right now in America that I'm really concerned about, and you should be concerned about too. Number 1, the Willow Project got approved, which will release 9.2 million metric tons of carbon pollution into the air per year. Number 2, the Supreme Court might overturn the Indian Child Welfare Act, which would allow Native children to be taken away from their parents. Number 3, South Carolina and Texas are calling for executions as a punishment for abortion. Number 4, Tennessee passed a bill gutting marriage equality for same-sex, interfaith, and interracial relationships. Number 5, Florida has introduced a bill codifying gender-affirming healthcare as abuse and allowing trans children to be removed from their parents. Number 6, Tennessee banned drag and gender-affirming healthcare for minors. Number 7, Mississippi brought back Jim Crow laws, which allow segregation of all white towns, police forces, and government. Number 8, Arkansas passed laws to make child labor easier. Number 9, a Tennessee representative called for lynchings to be brought back. Number 10, representatives from several states are calling for transgenocide. We are in stage 7 of genocide.
Stage 7?
Number 11, anti-Semitic hate crimes are on the rise. Number 12, Cop City in Atlanta exists. And number 13, books are being mass banned in schools, and the government is trying to control education. So we're living in a fascist regime, and I don't know what to do about it at this point.
Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up. We're living in a fascist regime, Stas.
Okay, first off, I stand this queen.
Shut up. You can't be serious.
Listen, no, I like people speaking their truth, all right? She took a stance. I like people that take stances over people that don't take stances.
What do you... First off, I know that you hate me for not taking stances.
My problem is with people who just don't believe they're ever wrong or don't consider the possibility that they're wrong.
What?
Okay.
Wait. You like people who take stances. You don't like people who don't take stances. I
didn't say I don't like people who don't take stances. I like when people have opinions. I like people having thoughts about things.
Okay, and then you followed up with, I don't like when people don't think they can be wrong.
Yes, I like it. There has to be some open-mindedness with it.
So you have to have a strong opinion, but think that you might be wrong.
Yes.
Okay. I feel like the people who have the strongest opinions are the least likely to be open-minded.
That's a healthy mindset to carry around.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so let's go with number 1, the Willow Project.
Okay, number 1, the Willow Project. Let's see what she said real quick. First off, America's
time-stamped.
Oh no, we're just gonna scroll through it. America is a fascist country is the claim. We're under a fascist regime. Let's.
I didn't. Okay, I looked at the individual claims, not America is a fascist country, but fine.
Well, that's a big part of this. She's the reason it irked me is like she just listed off all this shit and said this is examples of how America is such a horrible fascist country, and she doesn't know what to do about it. What bothers me is it's like feels like this massive fear mongering. It's like, holy shit, everything's unraveling, everything's so terrible. We're on the brink of fucking the Fourth Reich. You know what I mean? It's like, So let's just maybe real quick. What is fascism?
Okay,
Just so we have the same definitions.
go ahead. What you got?
A political. This is the official one that I got from whatever dictionary or something. A political movement that embraces far right nationalism and the forceful suppression of any opposition, all overseen by an authoritarian government.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah, you like that? Okay.
Sure, we'll use that definition.
Well, do you not? I'm genuinely curious. Like, what would you?
I mean, I feel like we could pull it apart. But yeah, I think that works for what we're doing here.
Okay.
Of things that are happening right now.
Let me just catch
and
up here.
You should be concerned about too.
And also, like the fear, like I'm concerned about, and you should be concerned about it too. Okay.
Number one, the Willow
Listen,
Project got
she's allowed to have
approved,
opinions about these things.
She is. That doesn't mean she's right.
Okay, that's what we're here to find out, aren't
9.2
we,
million
ladies and
metric
gentlemen?
tons of carbon pollution into the air per
Okay.
year.
Did we
Okay.
get to point one?
Number, yeah, point one, the Willow Project. Okay.
Hey.
And so for number one, right? The Willow Project is a thing, right?
Yes.
It is a project in Alaska. They're going to be drilling and trying to get gas and oil, right? Natural
Yes.
resources.
Correct.
Will there be lots of emissions from this? Duh, right? Of course. But
Uh-huh.
this is an environmental debate. This is an environmental issue. How is this fucking fascism?
Okay, so her claim is true that it will, because by the administration's own estimates, it will release 9.2 million metric tons of carbon pollution a year, right?
Sure.
So that part is true.
Yep.
Second, this goes directly against the campaign promises that Biden had, right? He explicitly said he wouldn't be drilling on public land, and now he is. Okay. And not only that, but the Secretary of Interior, Deb Haaland, who is like, I think, the first Native person to be in the cabinet, right?
Really?
This was also something she came out against as well. But all of a sudden, now she's for it, right? And the only thing she would say on this whole issue was that it was a quote unquote tough choice. Okay. Now, I think the fascism aspect of it comes from a constant kowtowing to corporate interests, right? The centralized authority in this quote unquote fascist regime are that corporate interests matter more than anybody else's opinions.
The corporate interest matters more than anyone else's opinions.
Yes, because the campaign promise, the promise to get elected to normal people who actually can vote was that Biden wouldn't be doing this, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's okay, we're going to be doing this.
I mean, in my brain, that doesn't seem like fascism to me. It seems like he lied or didn't fulfill a promise.
Yeah, but he lied in service of who? The already powerful.
Maybe, but hold on. You're viewing this as like this will only benefit some money grubbers, right? Like, is it? Maybe I'm wrong here, but is it not possible that it's a good idea for us? We're not getting off of oil or gas anytime soon, right? We do need these resources.
We can, right? We don't have the willpower to step down our reliance on.
Yes, but until you get the willpower of the entire country to agree to it, you need to have a plan.
Well, guess how you do that with leadership that believes in it.
Even if you do believe in it, it's not going to happen overnight. You need the resources to have the country continue to run. And it's not bad to have the resources yourself instead of getting it from other countries, right?
Yeah, but it's not like, you see, but you're framing it as if it's ours. It's not ours. It's whoever is doing the drilling. Right?
I'm assuming that part of the deal is that it's coming to us, or somehow it is ours, or we have our finger in the fucking pie somehow.
Yeah, it's coming to us in a way, but whoever is doing the drilling is getting massively rich off it.
Yes, of course they are, because they're running this fucking business.
And it's already a violation of they're using public land to do it. They're using public land for private interests.
Okay, I'm not saying it's flawless, but to say that it's like, I don't know, like, how do we operate without natural resources or like natural energy sources?
We already have them. The idea is to stop opening more, to stop making the problem worse.
Do we have more than we need? for a long period of time, like for the foreseeable future?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but I'm assuming that that's somehow part of the play. If it
I don't
is,
think so.
if it is
I don't-
strictly a money grab thing, then yeah, it's super shitty, and that's all there is to
I do
it.
not believe anybody is thinking that long term, especially businesses of this size.
Well, I'm not
Or
saying
especially businesses, especially oil companies who have it's already been proven have sat on information about global warming and didn't share it.
I'm not saying the businesses. I'm saying for the country. If the government, us as a whole, run out of resources, right, like fuels, that's a problem for us. The businesses, whatever, they'll sell to someone else.
This is going to be we're going to be butting heads on every one of these points. If you can't even agree on this one.
Well, what do you want me to agree to?
Well, one, that the point is true. Her claim is true.
I did say the claim is true.
Okay, well, let's move on then. We got 12 other points to get to.
Well, we got a long time to stream, buddy. Ikwa. Hello, hi
Okay.
Miss Merck. You missed the judgment. We have about 5 years of oil reserves with no imports.
Okay, but for one, we're already getting tons of imports. The
Yes.
entire reason we're over in the Middle East in the first place is oil. The entire reason we even give two shits about Saudi Arabia is oil.
Right, but don't we want to get off of other countries' resources?
We can get off it but also get off it, period.
Yeah, you say move towards green energy.
Yes.
I'm not against that. I don't disagree with that at all. But until we get everyone on board, it's not going to happen overnight. Like you have to have a contingency plan.
Unless you are forcing people to move over, it's not going to happen. You're just not going to get people off.
You think that the
oil
government
and
should
gas.
do you think there should be an authoritarian government movement to force people into a different energy?
Yeah.
Kind of like in a
Some things are
fascist way?
Some things are way too big to leave up to individual choices.
Okay. I mean, I don't disagree. There are times for that, for sure, right? When it's necessary for the government to
We've
a slippery
oil
slope, or should be
companies and-
used
and
rarely.
Also, in conjunction, car companies have completely killed the electric car for decades. They wanted to make GM had an electric car designed in the early 90s that they never came to production.
Yeah, because it wasn't.
Because we're still relying on these sources of oil.
But the thing is, even if we go electric
handicapped
cars,
ourselves.
how are we generating electricity for these cars?
I think there's a big hamster wheel in
Yeah, but we still need a way to create the electricity for
Yes,
these
I
cars,
understand
right?
that, but we do have energy sources.
That aren't fossil
Adding
fuels.
to the problem of global warming, I don't think is any decent solution to our future problems, our current problems. We're just making the future worse for ourselves.
And also the batteries for these electric vehicles and stuff. Yeah, that's definitely still an
Yeah,
issue as well.
Also, yes, that is true. I'm not saying electric vehicles are a 100% great solution, right?
And you know who's spearheading electric solutions?
Our huge, yes, I understand.
You
Our
hate 'em.
huge reliance on electronics is going to put a premium on silicon,
Cobalt.
cobalt, all sorts of other things that we're going to have to get,
Yeah.
and that are incredibly expensive. Oh, it's not a cure-all by any means.
No, for sure not. And
Okay,
again, I'm
Ikwa.
not opposed to going towards green energies. I don't think that's a foolish thing. Obviously that's a good idea, but you gotta. It's hard to do it overnight. I think. Impossible,
I don't
maybe.
know. When you tell people you're going to do one thing and then you just do another.
Yes, I mean that's a dick move, but that's what politicians have done our entire lives. And plus, like that's just. I'm not
That
saying it's
doesn't make it
okay.
okay.
I'm not saying it's okay, but this isn't indicative of a fascist country.
Okay, go ahead.
Ikwa. Let's watch this a little quick.
Number 2, the Supreme Court might overturn the Indian Child Welfare Act, which would allow Native children to be taken away from their parents.
Okay, so number 2, Ikwa. That's the Indian Child Welfare Act. It's gone to, I believe, from what I understood, what I gained from reading is that, the ICWA was like so that when there has to be it sounds like it's a complicated thing where like the government has to step in when there's like issues with kids and stuff like that, but ICWA made it so that it kind of like the Native American people still had the final say in kind of like where these kids went. And I'm assuming it's to preserve like cultural and that sort of stuff, right? To give themselves some
ICWA, yes,
political autonomy.
We have a very sordid past with Native Americans in this country.
Of course. Yeah.
In that we used to force Native American children to live with white families, right?
Okay.
That's and this was ICWA was kind of like a remedy to that situation. And what ICWA does or did is that when a when a Native child needs to be placed within a family, ICWA says that you have to prioritize placing them in a Native home before you put them in the home of a different race, like white or whatever, right? But it should be clear that ICWA didn't require you place them in a Native home. It's just that you need to make an effort to do that.
Yep. I got
and
that.
So the argument here is that without this, right, then there are no legal protections anymore, and Native children can be placed wherever the fuck they, the state decides.
Yeah. There was the case that brought this up or whatever. I watched the video where the lawyer representing them had a video. So obviously this is biased, but the lawyer was talking to this family. It was the Brackeen family or something like that, and they had 2 kids of their own, and they were a foster family, and they got this Native American child at like 3 months old or 6 months old, really young, had him for a year, and then found out that the parents no longer wanted the kid or weren't capable or whatever. And none of the immediate biological family members were willing to take the kid in. They wanted to keep it. Someone in the higher ups of the Native American Council or whatever, however that works, right? Someone vetoed it and said, "Hey, the kid's not going to you." And so this kid who was in the family for like a year and like they had a relationship, they wanted to adopt him, and the Native American group said no, and the kid ended up going to some family like 5 states over that the kid had no direct relation to or whatever. And so yes, like obviously we don't want to gut that thing, gut the authority that Native Americans have over their people like that. But at the same time, this scenario seems like it's like, what's like, is this really in the best interest of the kid? Why what happened here? Could there be wiggle room, like where maybe it's like they did put in the effort to prioritize a family, but this is probably the best scenario for the kid?
Sure.
So does it maybe just need a revision, or I don't know.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. However, it wasn't a revision, it was an overturning of the entire law, right?
Well, do they do that? Will they take it to the Supreme Court and then just revise it, or is it usually like it gets overturned and they get something new? Like,
no,
how does the
legislature? The Supreme Court can't edit.
No, I know they can't, but like,
if Congress passes another act, which is
I think I did see where I think one of the Supreme Court judges said that I think it was I don't remember his name, whatever. He's like, I think this is a better case for Congress than it is for the Supreme Court, and maybe that's what he was referring to. Like, sure, this should be a revised law or whatever. But this did open up, like, this is something I've never really thought about with kind of the whole interaction between Native American society and.
Well, this brings in some interesting ideas because because we believe.
Buddy,
sovereign.
Hold on, buddy. Sorry.
To rule themselves.
Hold on. I need you to restart that because my audio just messed up.
Jesus Christ. Well, we have this idea here that Native American reservations are supposed to be sovereign. They're supposed to be essentially their own countries and allowed to do with whatever, govern themselves how they will.
Yeah.
But then we have these sorts of things where it's like, well, if a child doesn't have a home to go to, somehow our government decides where the child is going.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a very strange thing that there is like this whole idea of having a sovereign people within the country, it's just like I it's so complicated, right? It's like you guys get to do your own thing, and there's a lot of this, but like if shit really hits the fan, then you have the US government to rely on, or like if things get too far where we say like this is above your pay grade, then we step in, or like how
Yes.
like this is such a weird
it's a delicate
thing.
topic because, as Ms. Merck says, you don't want these children to lose a sense of their culture. We already decimated Native culture as it is.
Yeah,
So it's like you get where people are coming from here,
100%. Yes.
but at the same time, it's like, okay, individual cases are going to tug at your heartstrings. Individual cases are going to be like,
Yeah.
well, I think this was wrong,
Yeah.
or I think we made the wrong call here, or whatever. But
the other thing I wanted to
I don't know if a wrong call necessitates overturning the entire law. Right?
Yeah, and the thing is, it didn't get overturned yet, right? Or did it go to trial? I don't even know, or whatever. Did it go to? Was there an outcome? I don't think there was, but I might have missed it.
I don't know. The article I cited says they will decide, but that was on November. That was in November.
Yeah. Hello. And then the other thing I wanted to ask you about is they were talking about, I think it's Gorsuch, Supreme Justice
Neil Gorsuch.
Gorsuch. That's it. I think he's
they.
Huh?
Who are they talking? Who's they?
He's like I don't know. He was talking about this case or whatever. Maybe like the preliminary hearing or whatever. And he was saying how traditionally, because I think the argument was like this was racist to like say that you can't have this because
prioritizes one race over another. Yeah, I don't really buy that argument, but
I think that it's a stretch, but but whatever. But the thing is, he said it doesn't matter because this is Native Americans are treated traditionally as a political group, not a racial group.
Okay.
What is that? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? How do you break that down? What is a political group? How about that?
Any group of people that has a political interest, or so like that lobby for things or that want things.
So that
You know what I mean?
it could be a racial group as well.
Sure. I mean, yes, but maybe in the eyes of the law, they're a political faction, considering their status as, the status of
yeah.
reservations. They should be considered political as opposed to racial.
Yeah. Do you think that it's healthy that we have these reservations?
The entire system is fucked up. I don't think we've really reckoned with Native American history or American history and how we dealt with Native Americans.
Well, right. We put them in these lands and say like, hey, you guys are yourselves for the most part. But like
for most of the Midwestern tribes, we purposely destroyed all the American buffalo. Right.
Oh,
And
you're going way
thereby-
back.
thereby destroying all the Midwestern Native American way of life, right? Like that was on purpose. We didn't do that for fun. Right? We didn't
Right.
do that because these
Right.
buffalo are a menace. We did that so that we
yeah,
could
it was a
take that
conquering
land.
tactic. Yeah.
Yeah, for 100%. And we've never really reckoned with that. Reservations are stupid, but I don't know if I don't know if they're the best worst solution.
The best worst solution?
Because like it's a bad solution, but it's the best among them.
Oh, okay.
Because we have Native Americans in reservations where they're states away from where their original homeland was. We just threw them somewhere else
Yeah.
and said, "Hey, I guess this is your land now."
I don't.
Right? You can.
Yeah.
So
Well, the other thing
it's-
that's strange to me is like doesn't it. They want to maintain their heritage and their culture, right? And I get that, but some part of me makes like it feels like this weird, like separate but equal thing. It's like you guys get this plot of land and you guys are gonna be your own thing, unless it becomes a problem, and then we're gonna step or like. It doesn't it feel like a weird
issue? The sovereignty issue only lasts as long as the state allows it, and there are plenty of instances in which the state says, "No, actually, we don't give a fuck how sovereign we said you were." Legally, we've been fucking them over for years.
But the thing is, like, what's the solution here? Like actually give them a chunk of land where we're not involved, or is it like, hey, we're gonna have to start assimilating, but you guys find a way to maintain your heritage, or like
I
what's
don't know. One, the reservations aren't a monolith, right? Different reservations, they're from different tribes. Even within a reservation,
no
there's
right?
probably
Yes,
amalgamation
yes,
of
yes.
tribes.
Even if you
Um,
said that the ideal is to give each tribe their own set of line and be like, hey, this is your guys' land, this is you guys are on
I
your
don't
own.
know what the solution is. I feel like this is a half-hearted, ham-fisted solution, the reservation system,
Yeah.
that we don't really see a clear end to, because we don't want to just be like, hey, it's we can't be like, hey, you lost this one, guys. We're just gonna get rid of this, and you're just gonna have to live among us.
Yeah,
It sucks, but we won. You know what I mean, or whatever, which
that's
would be
not going to go
bad.
over well.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, well,
I don't see the government all
you know,
I
we're not. No one. It's not realistic, and I would be for it, but it's not realistic that we're like, hey, you guys, go ahead and take South Dakota. You
yeah.
know?
It's just, yeah, again, I don't see that being realistic either, or that wouldn't go over well with a different group of people or whatever.
Yeah. So I don't know.
It just seems like a very complicated ball of wax that I never really deep dived.
It's been messed up since the start, and I don't know how it's going to. I don't know if it'll ever get resolved.
It's kind of heartbreaking to think about.
Yeah. So we'll move on instead. How about that?
Is it fascist? Does this contribute to fascism or represent fascism?
There's a certain aspect of it when the government steps in and decides where a child will go without any input from, say, a native community. Like, there's a certain fascist aspect to that, isn't there?
Is it fascist if they did it to non-native people? Because they do it to non-native people all the time, right? Like with
Yes,
child
in the
protection
interest of the
services.
state,
And shit
yes,
like
but
that.
yes, they do.
Is that fascism,
and there
or is
are
it just
cultural
because it's?
considerations there, for sure, as well.
My thing is like, I don't
to say.
I don't like when the government comes in and says like you can and can't do this with your kids, but obviously there is a line, right? There is a line where you do have to step in and say like this kid's in danger. But where is that line? When is it fascism and when is it just good
Sure.
or healthy for society as a whole?
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm not sure this is fascism. Concerning though.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'll agree with you there.
She's using fascism as she's using it hyperbolically, right?
Is she?
I believe so. But okay. All right, next. South Carolina and Texas.
Let's see. Abortion execution. This I think was true.
Yes.
And from
South Carolina was the most recent. Texas was a year ago, but they bills keep cropping up that want to make they want to give the death penalty for getting an abortion in this state.
Well, and so just for a little more detail, it's the idea is that they think that the unborn child is a life, and so having an abortion is murder, right? And they think
I don't know if we need to. I think people understand that both sides of the abortion debate, but yes, I suppose.
Well, right, and then they think that it should be treated as a murder, which can be like 30 years in prison or execution. Is it absurd? Yeah, it seems a little absurd. Is that passed? Is that legit?
No, it's just proposed.
Okay, so it's not out there yet.
They didn't claim to have passed it.
Well, I don't know. Some of these she says are passed, and some I didn't write down which ones were passed and which ones were just
yeah,
bills
it was
or whatever.
Both of them they're proposals.
Okay, yeah. It's definitely an issue to be aware of.
Sure,
but yeah. Again, maybe I just don't understand fascism. Is that fascist?
Executing doctors for performing healthcare? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say it would be fascism.
But isn't that in the perspective of whether or not you're pro or anti-abortion? Yes, yes, it sounds I can't believe I even have to defend this. Execution people is fucking crazy.
What you're choosing to defend it. You don't have to do shit. I would say it's fashion. I mean, I'm obviously pro-choice.
Yeah.
So it's the idea that that a woman can't decide what to do with an unborn child, her own body, that the state would tell her you're possibly going to go to jail or die if you decide not to have a child, the child that's in you. That yeah, to me that's fascism.
Yeah, it's wild. Okay. Tennessee passed a bill gutting LGBT relationships / marriages.
Okay.
From what I read or could find, it wasn't. I don't know what. Is
I have the actual language of the bill.
Yeah, and what they said was individuals will not be required to certify a marriage that they don't agree with.
Correct. The clerk, it's up to the individual clerks to decide. This is passing the buck, right? So I have a person shall not be required to solemnize a marriage if the person has an objection to solemnizing the marriage based on the person's conscience or religious belief. The person in this quote is a clerk, right? So if
Yeah.
a clerk decides that ratifying a marriage is against their conscientious or religious beliefs, they can say no. The state is not going to allow you to get married, right?
But hold on.
Them thereby, right, saying that person's opinion, right, carries with it the weight of the state.
But hold on. So if one person says no, can they go to someone else? Like, can they go to a different clerk?
Yeah, but you're going to shop around for clerks now? It's supposed to be the government, right? It's supposed to be the one set of rules. You got to find one specific person who's willing to marry you. That's what you want?
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. The clerk is a public servant. Maybe they just shouldn't have that job then, right?
No, they're making it. That's not what it is anymore. Is that the law, right, allows you?
No.
Allows the clerk to say whatever.
No. I'm saying if you have a religious problem with marrying like a gay couple, then maybe you shouldn't be in the job of marrying people. You shouldn't be the clerk that certifies marriages if you have a personal problem with certifying marriages you don't agree to.
I agree, but that's not what they're doing. They're
right. No, I'm saying that's the
have
proper
any
solution.
You want, and then the state of Tennessee won't marry your dumbass because some public servant is a bigot.
Right. Okay.
It's a way to gut. It is. I would say this would qualify as fascism. Fascism. It is a way to gut marriage equality without coming out and saying it's wrong. Right. It's a very
without saying what's wrong
way of like, hey, we know Tennessee's got some racist clerks or bigoted clerks. We'll leave it to them. It's really in their hands. We don't have any control over it. We're not saying they can't get married. We're just saying that it's the clerk's job to decide whether it's okay or not.
I see what you're saying, and I agree.
The state needs to say one way or the other.
I agree because it's the state. Yeah, it's because it's a state appointed job, right? It's like your fucking job. Just sign the thing, right? Make sure it's legal and you're done.
Yes.
There shouldn't be any opinions in it.
Okay.
It should be a law to follow, not anyone's personal opinion or choice. Yeah, exactly. Number 5, Florida, gender affirming healthcare for children is abuse and grounds for removal from parents.
Okay, one thing I'll say is I didn't find any abuse language. I looked specifically for that, like for Florida, like categorizing this as abuse. I couldn't find anything specifically related to that.
Yeah.
However, that doesn't take away from the crux of the bill.
Yeah. Okay. So from what I saw was like there was a bill that's saying like going through gender affirming healthcare for minors is no longer allowed in the state, and then this one was being like, what happens if you break that law? What is the punishment? And it's like you lose your kids, or they might temporarily take the kids or whatever.
Sure. Again, one of the things is like, okay, a lot of these. I think a standard Republican line is that they don't want the government interfering with people's lives. Like that's kind of what they say, but that's not what ends up happening. Because again, okay, so I have a quote directly from Clay Yarborough, who was the senator who proposed the bill,
Yeah.
who said parents have the right and responsibility to raise their children as they see fit, and government intervention should be a last resort. This apparently for Clay
Is a
is
last
the
resort.
last resort, right? If parents and children are deciding to undergo these processes, right, or gender affirming care, apparently this is so far beyond the pale for Floridians or the Floridian government that they have to step in and be like, no, you cannot do this.
Yeah, I don't. It's such a strange thing for me because like gender affirming healthcare, like having surgery for children and stuff. It seems like such a new area or such a new thing that they don't know. Like, but this is kind of the line where it's like, where do you step in? And like, let's say hypothetically that gender affirming care turns out to be have a high chance of negative effects, right? Like maybe people detransition after that or whatever. If that was true, when does the government step in? Or is it just like, no, it's fine. Like let parents do what they want with their kids.
I mean, there's a lot of things that have negative effects that the government says, no, that's not our business.
What do you mean?
Right? I don't know. Let's see.
Like drinking or?
Yeah, drinking. Or like how much alcohol is a parent allowed to intake before it begins to be a problem, right?
But they do step in if
the line, yeah, they do, but it's so the line is so when it's so egregious, right? That it's basically they might as well not even be a parent in the first place, right? Corporal punishment the same way, right?
What do you mean about
like
corporal punishment?
Spanking, or hitting your child.
That they step in and it's like has to be so far down the road that they step in and actually take the kids away.
Yeah, that you're leaving visible bruises. But the thing is, it's like there's this weird misconception that gender affirming care. It's like, hey, we went to the doctor, we said, hey, we want this, and then it happens, right? It's a huge process. It's generally, I think, from the article I saw, like a year and a half before any medicine gets prescribed. Right? Like, it's not just happening overnight.
Well, yeah, I'd assume not, or I'd hope not.
But it's framed that way to make it seem like, hey, some girl on a whim decides she identifies as a boy, and the parents, they're hippy dippy and they let their children do whatever they want, and so this happens, and then, well, okay, 5 years later she regrets it because deep down she was a girl and it wasn't really, and it's like they concoct these really weird nonsense stories, right? And part of this bill is like they find people who detransitioned to like use as these sort of like flag post people. Yeah. And it's like, you know what? I mean, yes, it's going to happen. People are going to do things they later regret. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if their experiences of detransitioning should ruin it, right? Or should taint other people's experiences with wanting to get gender affirming care.
Right. Yeah. I had a question. I forgot it.
It's fine. We'll be back to gender affirming care next point.
Yeah, well, I ain't gonna remember it then. What is the next one? Tennessee banned drag and gender affirming care for minors.
Also, yes, this would qualify as fascism, right? The state is stepping in and saying, no, you can't do this. This is how you parent.
Yeah, well, again, this is like where is the line? Because sometimes we do want that, right?
Yes. Okay. But your child deciding, or discovering what gender they are, I'm not sure is really where the government should be throwing in there.
It does seem strange. It does seem like an overstep because it's like, what the fuck do you care?
Why do you care? Yes. Why do you care? Who cares?
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Tennessee banned drag and gender affirming care for minors. The gender affirming care.
Definitely true. They did do that.
Yeah.
Two different bills on the same day.
But hold on. The drag thing was It restricts adult cabaret performances in public or the presence of children and banned
Yes.
within 1,000 feet of
Yes,
schools, parks, and
however,
churches.
that's the language they chose to use, adult cabaret, because they want it to seem erotic, right? But yes, drag shows can be, somewhat adult, but they don't have to be. It's not required, right? You
I
can
mean-
you can just be in drag.
But hold on, if they're saying adult cabaret, couldn't you have a drag show that isn't cabaret and then it's
No,
fine?
They want no, they're categorizing them all as drag shows, right? It's a different sort of thing, right? Like, okay, so for instance, I think the governor of Tennessee said there's a big difference between wearing a dress at a high school football game and drag queens wearing a dress on stage. I'm not sure if that was the governor or a state senator, but
Yeah.
that's what they had said, right? But it's like, what is the difference? One man's gay and the other one isn't. Like, I don't understand what the problem is here. Like, what is the difference?
Are drag queens typically gay?
I'm not. I think their perception of them is that they're gay.
Oh,
I don't know whether they are or not, but I think
I thought it was
the
very
Tennessee
independent of
governor
that or
would
whatever.
probably imagine them to be.
Um,
That's the idea, that somehow drag queens are immoral, right? But when the football team has a powder puff game, right, where they all wear dresses on the field or whatever the fuck,
yeah.
right, or they wear cheerleader outfits and the cheerleaders play or whatever the fuck they do, right? That's fine and all in good fun, right? But other people, they're not allowed to have fun in their way.
That's an interesting
Right.
perspective. I never thought about that with the part of
So it's like, well, what are we doing here, right? Yeah, drag queens can be straight, gay, whatever, non-binary. They can be whatever they want to be. It doesn't really matter.
What
right?
about wait?
The
Okay,
perception is they're gay, but that doesn't.
so
Again, the perception doesn't have anything to do with the reality.
should the government step in? Like, say parents want to take their kids to actual like strip clubs. Is that a line for the government to step in, or should the parents be allowed to do that?
Wait, what?
Like say so they're kind of implying that like these are like borderline stripper shows, right?
That's what they're saying.
They're implying it. Yes, that's fine. But let's say that was actually happening. Let's say that
Sure.
parents were taking their kids to
Again,
skip
this
strip clubs.
it doesn't even make any sense. If a drag queen is stripping, what are they showing? You're allowed to wear a bathing suit. A man is allowed to go to the pool and not have a shirt on. What is the stripping about?
I don't know.
It's not really about that, right? It's about,
Well, there's definitely
many drag shows. So I couldn't tell you exactly.
I haven't either, but I've definitely seen like again, it's the Republicans posting this. I don't. Maybe these are extreme outliers, but there's definitely ones that are very sexual in nature with kids like putting money in G strings and shit like that. And it's like it rubs me the wrong way. But going back, let's just say that hypothetically, a bunch of parents, right? It became a thing where parents were taking their kids to actual strip clubs. Is that something that the government should even step in on?
Yeah, because you can't take a minor into a strip club.
Right, but why? Like going back to like being able to do what you want with your kid. Where's the line?
Yeah, because we've decided, right, that you're not allowed to view sexual material until you're 18 years old, which again, that's just the rule of the state. The state had decided that that you're a minor until you're 18, right? Generally.
Yeah.
So if you're before 18 and you're going toward you're doing adult things, right? That would be against the law, right?
But isn't there like
However,
sorry, go on.
A drag show is not a strip club, okay?
No, I know.
Yes, I'm sure there are burlesque drag shows or drag shows in that vein, but they're not all that, especially the ones that would be in public.
I would be interested in knowing more about like, because I haven't seen any. Well, there was one drag show I think I went to when I was younger. But the videos of the things that I'm seeing where the Republicans are worried about this, they are very sexual in nature with these kids, and it like I said, it's off-putting or I don't know, rubs me the wrong way. It's like, why is this kid here? If you want to do it, fine, but why is the kid here? Why is this kid like getting a lap dance?
I don't know the videos you're talking about. I have never seen a child give a lap dance.
Like I literally watched
I've seen Little Buff Boys. Okay.
Is that a Sunny reference?
No, it's I think you should leave.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, the Little Buff Boys. Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, I see what you're saying
I
though with
don't
it
know.
being.
Outside of individual incidents, I don't know. I think in general, it's like if a guy, if a guy wants to dress up as a woman or a woman wants to dress up as a man, I don't exactly know what the issue is.
There
Right?
shouldn't
If
be
you
an
think
issue as
people are
long as it's
having
not
an undue,
sexual.
if you think people are having an undue influence on your children, then yeah, you can stop them from going. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I don't know. I think the whole idea, right, that like anytime you're exposed to someone in drag, you're about to get into an orgy is
You gonna get
wild.
gayified or something.
Okay, so let's see, but that's not all that that was half of it. They banned drag shows in public, which is to say some people can put on a dress, but not others. Let's see, but they also blocked.
Yeah, gender
You're
affirming
not
care for
allowed
minors.
to. Yeah, there's no hormone therapy, no surgeries, and no puberty blockers. Two exceptions. One is for intersex kids who aren't assigned a gender at birth, and another would be anyone who's currently taking them.
They can
Um,
continue. They get
yeah, but
grandfathered
then
in.
yeah, not really though, because you have until March of 2024 to stop your treatment.
Oh, that's weird. That's weird to have some random cutoff.
But then you're done. And this whole notion of transgenderism, I honestly think it's a prop, it's a distraction. Like I know for transgender people, it's a big fucking deal, and it is, right? But I feel like I don't know what the problem could be, right? I guess I don't buy the whole notion like destroying the fabric of America or some holy horse shit
Yeah.
that comes out of people's mouths when they rail against this whole idea.
Holy horse shit.
Anyway,
Okay. Mississippi Jim Crow segregation on white towns/governments. I watched some stuff about this.
fascism.
Huh? What?
What?
What'd you say?
Fascism.
What about it?
The Jim Crow stuff.
Oh, you're saying it is fascism?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yes. I don't really understand it. Like what I read or what I heard was that they made a district to. I don't even understand how districts work in a city. So this was like so over my head. They had a district for like the capital, and now they're trying to expand that district to include the wealthiest district of the city.
Okay, so this is about Jackson City, which is a vastly the majority black.
Yeah, I think it was like
city,
80-20
okay?
or something like that, right?
So they needed to appoint so the city's under like special restriction by the state because there were issues with the city or whatnot, right?
Wait, go into that. What do you mean by what kind of restrictions?
I think it had to come under like special
like they're saying like you're
like
fucking up too
governance or
much and we need to.
Yes, they had to step in some way,
Okay.
right? So in order to, they apparently had a huge backlog of cases. So in order to remedy this, they created a separate court, right, in Jackson City, right? However, none of those judges that they created this court with are elected. They're all appointed by the Attorney General or the Supreme Court Chief Justice of Mississippi.
How does that work? They just decide sometimes judges are appointed, some are voted on, or like?
No, they're supposed to be elected. But under this special section, under this new court system, all of these judges are going to be appointed instead of elected.
That sounds fucking horrible.
Yeah, I know. That's why they're likening it to Jim Crow, because they're creating a separate court to quote unquote deal with this problem, right? And if you read some of the articles I had the quotes. Let's see. The proponents of this system are basically saying like, oh, this is going to help alleviate the crime problem in Jackson City, right? Which to me doesn't even make sense, because it's like the crime's already happened. What the fuck do judges have to do with it? The judges aren't stopping crime. They're just judging cases that already happened, but whatever. One of the biggest signs that this would be considered fascist is that the state Democrats submitted measures to allow these judges to be elected rather than appointed, and those measures were defeated.
What do you mean by defeated?
They were shot down.
So the Republicans or whoever else was just like, nah, we're not doing that, see ya.
Yeah, correct. They wanted them to be appointed rather than elected.
Well, what do they have? No fucking poll over there?
It's Mississippi, bro.
I don't know anything about Mississippi.
Okay, all you need to know about Mississippi is that it's racist as fuck.
Fucking weird. That one for sure. I'll give you that one. That sounds fascist as fuck. It feels very fucking weird. It feels very fucking weird entirely. Like, I don't know. Even if you are fucking Republican or like the other side of what's happening, and like, it doesn't matter what fucking alignment you you should not want appointed people. You don't want more appointed people. You want, like, that sounds so bad.
Yes, you want less appointed people. You want these judges to be elected like every other judge in that county.
That just seems that seems like a conservative value in general. Like, yeah, we don't want appointments. We want fucking election. We want smaller government. We want it for the people.
Well, they're afraid that because the people who do the electing are the people in Jackson City.
Yeah, so they're afraid that the massively black population will vote black.
Because everybody knows that that people who get elected, there's just people who run on like pro-crime, platforms. Like, yeah, do all the crimes you want. Elect me as judge. I don't give a fuck. You hear it all the time. It gets old.
That one's fucking wild.
Moving on, Arkansas.
Child labor. I feel like this was a big nothing burger.
This I have kind of true, if a little overblown.
So it is true that what they did was they quote unquote made it easier for 14 and 15-year-olds to work, which is already a thing in many other states, but it's only 14 and 15-year-olds that can work limited hours. If you're 13 or under, you still can't work. It's not like 8-year-olds are working in a sweatshop or some shit.
Yes, however, kids are still kids. Like at 8, I know there's a difference between 15 and 8, but
it's
15
huge.
is still a child, right?
Right, but all it's doing is it's allowing a kid to work. It's not forcing any kids to work. It's not.
It's allowing them to work now without parent permission.
I thought I read they still needed to get like a.
Well, again, they got rid of the form that gave them that.
Oh, they previously had it so 14 and 15-year-olds had to apply to be able to work?
Yeah, there was so previously 14 and 15-year-olds could work. The law doesn't allow them to work where they couldn't. What it does is it gets rid of the form they had to fill out in order for them to be allowed to work. Okay? This form, which I have the actual form. It's 1 page long. Let's see here.
But hold on, so they could work at 14 and 15 before this.
Yes, they filled the form out. The business then signed it off, and we sent it to the state. The state, according to the state, and no one was arguing this, there was pretty quick turnaround on getting the form sent back and
nothing's a quick turnaround in government.
Right, like a week or two.
Yeah, that's right? Not okay. For sure. I don't like that. The thing is, this doesn't scream to me at all.
However, okay, I'm gonna send you the link to the form. However, one important thing that the form did, and this is, I think, is the key as to why this was an issue, is that the form tells parents and the kids themselves what the restrictions are on 14 and 15-year-old labor, what hours they can work till, right? Or what days they can work. It's in the form itself.
But the government can decide what days you can work?
It puts restrictions on child labor. Yes.
But isn't there already still there still is restrictions? You can only work X amount of hours or whatever they deem is necessary.
Yes, but it's there. The form is there as a check to say, hey, this, because it's like, what do you know? Do you know what the restrictions are? Right? You could have a 15-year-old kid. You don't, but you could.
No, yeah. But, wait, hold on.
Would you like to know what those restrictions are, so that if your child's boss says, hey, actually, I'm going to need you to close on Tuesday, you got to stay till 11, and you're like,
I see what you're saying. Well,
okay,
but don't you think in the day and age of technology on hand, like everyone has access to be able to quick Google search that shit?
Not necessarily. Google's, as we both know, and I think the rest of the world knows, Google has been sucking for a while. It's become more trash.
I think you could find that information in a reasonable amount of time, don't you think?
Not only that, however, but according to the U.S. Department of Labor, illegal child labor has seen a 69% increase since 2018.
What is illegal child labor?
It's exactly what it sounds like.
Okay, but
kids working against.
They're working
illegally.
Okay, but they're working like more hours than they should, or they're working on days that the government said they shouldn't work, or like what is it?
Okay, they're either too young or they're working past when they should be allowed to, or any of the available reasons.
Well, I don't see how this law is like if they're too young. This law isn't changing anything. It would
Correct.
still be
It's not
illegal.
okay, what it is changing, and this is subtle. Again, that's why I said this is a little overblown. It's not a huge switch. However, it gets rid of the paper trail. So that when the government goes to the business and says, you can't make these kids work until these kids are 14. You can't make them work until 11 o'clock at night. What are you doing? Right?
Isn't the
What's the
paper
business going to say?
isn't the
What's the
paper
business gonna
trail
say?
that they're paying their fucking employees?
What's the business going to say?
What do you mean?
You can't let these 14-year-olds work this late. What's the business going to say? What's the excuse that business is going to tell them?
You have to?
No.
I don't know what you're
Hey,
fishing for.
these kids told me they were 16 years old. I don't know. They lied on their resume. They said they were 16.
What? But isn't that can't that happen anyways then?
Yeah, but they can put the blame on the child. If there's a piece of paper that the business signed that says, "Oh, I see. Okay, this child's 15. We know the restrictions. Here's the paper. Everyone, we have a copy of it.
I see what
We
you're
know what's
saying.
happening."
You're having
Okay?
the government has
If
like
they
a little
get rid of that piece of paper, right? It's way easier for a business to deny culpability, to deny knowledge that anyone tricked them, right? Or deny knowledge that they had any business in this, that they were tricked.
You're saying
Oh,
when they send this to the government, they have to be like, hey, I know this kid's 14. I know the rules. I'm going to treat him as I should. And then the government's like, we'll put that in the file. And if something happens, we'll be like, hey, you fucking knew he was 14 and you tried pulling this shit.
Correct.
Okay.
That's the change here. Because
Okay.
otherwise, I'm not really sure what the big deal is about having the one-page piece of paper anyway. That does, I mean, did you load it up? I sent it to you.
Oh, no, let me see.
Not that much to fill out.
No, it's not. But people hate having to fucking deal with the government.
Yeah, I know. But you're running a business, guy, and you want to hire a 14-year-old. So maybe just, fill your section out.
Well, I'm not saying for the business. I'm thinking for like the kid or the family and the kid having the job. He's probably like, well, I gotta fucking do this too. Again, it's not a big deal, but it's.
I know it's not a big deal. That's why this is as a point. This is a little overblown.
There's
However,
a lot here, dude. I would never fill this out.
It's a.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No one thinks you're kidding. Don't you understand when you say things like that?
That I wouldn't fill out a one-page paper? I did 4 hours of research for this week. For fun, quote unquote.
All right.
All right. Okay. So maybe not nothing burger, but an exaggeration.
Sure.
Tennessee, a representative called for lynchings to be brought back.
He did do that. Technically true.
Well, okay. What I saw was he's called for hanging by a tree as a form of execution for capital crimes.
That's lynching.
Yeah. Is any hanging lynching, or is it just if it's from a tree?
Well, I think lynching is generally considered as like a byproduct of a mob, or maybe the end product.
Yeah.
I think from a tree, because the tree has racial connotations. Hanging from a tree has
the
racially
thing.
sensitive historic connotations.
Right. So I got the
especially in fucking Tennessee.
Well, so he said a call for lynching injects racial conversation. It was racially insensitive, probably death by hanging. So he said he apologized and said that his intention was he wanted a harsh punishment to the most heinous of crimes, which whether that makes him like saying racist shit or not, like if that was an intention or not, I don't know. Maybe he is a racist piece of shit, but it also could be that he genuinely was like, I think people should get the death penalty for fucking raping people or whatever. He was
okay, yes, but being pro death penalty is different than making the most brain dead, like ignorant suggestion possible. It's like, how are you a state senator or congressperson, state representative? How are you a state representative and you don't understand the political implications of hanging someone from a tree in America?
Lynching is a public killing of someone who has not received is that due process? Sure process, typically carried out by mobs. Oh, so that would be different than him saying hanging from a tree.
Yes, but again, that's where they did it. Do you understand?
What do you mean? They did it in
Like the
Tennessee?
state isn't hanging you from a tree. You understand? That's where the lynchings took place.
Right, but he's talking about hanging him from a tree as as a state punishment.
Yes, correct. Which is again, it's
Yes, he
just
conflated a
ignorant.
very racially sensitive thing in
Yes,
incorrectly.
It's a very stupid remark.
Yes,
It's like
it was stupid.
And it's like, how do you get that job, representing people and not unrealize that?
I don't know, man. It takes all kinds of
Big
kinds.
faux pas, in my opinion. But okay.
You think that's evidence of fascism, or just an idiot?
I mean, that's evidence that racism is alive in Tennessee, I believe.
Wait, you think
I don't
that's
know about
evidence of
fascism.
racism being alive in Tennessee?
Yes, because this guy doesn't realize what he's saying.
Making a mistake makes him racist? Or being insensitive, racially
Showing your
insensitive?
hand in a way, yeah. Making a mistake can be racist.
But hold on, I don't.
Let's say you mistakenly used the N-word.
No, well, hold on. Mistakenly using the N-word makes you immediately racist? That's the same as being like a member of
racist act, isn't it? Because it's like, because what it said, what I'm saying is, it's like, what's the mistake here? What did you do? You accidentally let it out?
No,
right?
the mistake is that he thought what he was saying wasn't racially insensitive. He was just trying to think of.
Turns out it is.
Right, but that doesn't make him racist. It means he's.
He could have. Yes, he said something racist. It just because he's not aware of it, doesn't mean he didn't do it. And what I'm saying is, it's like it bends the levels of credulity to say he didn't understand what hanging from a tree meant in the south of in southern America.
It does. He just didn't know. Hold on. I'm still wrapping my head around this thing. So, if a kid sings along to a rap song and says the N-word, he's a racist.
I'm saying the nature of the mistake sort of shows his hand.
Right.
You understand? Not all mistakes are created equal.
Fine, sure. But like you said, if you mistakenly say the N-word, that's a racist act, or you're racist.
In a way, yes. I'm not saying I'm not saying across the board. I'm saying.
Oh, well, that's what it sounded like.
Okay.
That's what I thought you meant.
Let me explain.
Okay, sorry.
Jeez, Louise. I'll drop the L word, Louise. Okay.
How dare you? You know my mother's name.
You can do it in such a way as the mistake is not that you mistakenly said it, or like you were somehow through a fun wordplay or the lyrics of a song you ended up saying the word. It's that you can mistakenly say it, in that the mistake is you said it in public, right? You basically showed your private side publicly. You said the quiet part out loud.
The quiet part being that he thinks hanging from a tree is a brutal punishment that fits a heinous crime.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I'm not going to argue about this. You want to take him at his word. Like, you want to take a politician at his word.
I don't.
It was a mistake. I'm
not saying that, but
like, this man is shrugging his shoulders. A fucking state representative and says, "Oh, I don't know." And it's like, man, I don't give two fucks. It's like, you want to assume he's just dumb, right? And I'm going to assume he's not only dumb but also a little bit racist. That's our difference here.
Okay. Okay, next one. What we got here? Trans genocide stage 7. I didn't know what she meant by this, what stage 7 means.
I had to look up the 10 stages of genocide, which you can find on Wikipedia.
Oh, you did that. Okay. Tell me about it.
And I couldn't find anything specific, but I didn't spend an hour on this or anything.
Right.
But from what I could tell from the 10 stages, if anything, we're at stage 3, not at stage 7.
Can you give me a quick rundown, or is that too much?
I'll give you a quick rundown. Can you let me explain first?
Okay.
Got him. Okay, so the 10 stages. Real quick. Classification, symbolization, discrimination, dehumanization, organization, polarization, the 7, which is in question, would be preparation, then is persecution, and then extermination and denial. So They say, which is preparation. Let's see. The quotes here are: mass killing is planned. Victims are identified and separated because of their ethnic or religious identity, or whatever identity happens
Yeah,
to
or in
be
this
the case.
scenario, be
Okay. Again, but okay. So if we're looking at some of these stages, number 6 is polarization. Extremists drive the groups apart. Leaders are arrested and murdered. Laws erode fundamental civil rights and liberties. Um, Leaders are arrested and murdered. I'm not sure that's happening.
yeah,
Um, 5 is organization. Genocide is always organized. Special army units or militias are often trained and armed. I don't see where the parallel is there.
yeah.
But 3 is discrimination. Law or cultural power excludes groups from full civil rights. Segregation or apartheid laws, denial of voting rights. This, in some measure, is happening. We've just talked about several of them, right? Like denying gender affirming care.
Yeah.
Right.
What was that? That was what number was that?
That's 3, discrimination.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't think. Again, I'm not. I would say this is it is a cause for concern. I just don't believe it's risen to the level of the claim.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. I was. I'm not deep diving genocide stages. I figured, just put that one under the rug. Okay. Number 11. Anti-Semitic hate crimes are on the rise. This one, I don't know.
Yes,
like,
true.
on the rise compared to what though? In like the last week,
Previous
the last
years.
month. The thing
Yeah, in previous years, like they're using figures, right? So the first source that they have is the Anti-Defamation League, which, yes, it's very it's pro-Jewish person, which is very weird to say, right? But they have a clear bias, right? The
Yeah.
Anti-Defamation League has a clear bias, but you can't completely discredit them just because they have a bias.
No, of course not.
These groups, like the Anti-Defamation, are the only people accruing this information. Like they're the only one gathering the data. So it's like, well, no one else is even bothering to catalog this, so they're the only one you can go on. But there was another source I found that says, like, according to the New York City police, which as we suspect, are not a bastion of racial and gender equality for religious equality. There have been 80 anti-Semitic hate crime reports made this year compared to 62 in the same period last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So the Anti-Defamation League has like multi-years of data that says that anti-Semitic crime is on the rise. This seems to be corroborated by information from the New York City police, and the New York City police source, that's from the BBC.
The BBC.
Yeah,
The
they
BBC
did a report on it.
keeping track of New York City shit.
They just did a story on it.
Oh,
That's
okay.
all. They're not tracking it. The police tracked it. They're quoting the police. Anyway, yeah. I mean, I don't know. This is a very thorny issue because people conflate being anti-Semitic with being pro-Palestinian. The whole Israel issue. And I don't think those are nearly as related as people make them out to be. So
Well, here's my thing when I was looking at it, because I was trying to find data, because I'd be like, was she talking about in the past month, past year, or whatever? And I found it was on the Jewish Virtual Library, had stats on religious hate crimes for the past, like, since like the 1990s. And the numbers, like, they fluctuate for sure, but they're about, and maybe I'm misunderstanding the data, they're about the same. Like, it's between like 600 and 1,000, and it goes up and down throughout the last 2 decades.
okay.
So this makes it
So
sound,
you're saying there hasn't been an increase?
not in the long term. Maybe there's been an increase since last year or the year
Okay.
before.
Okay. So you're saying it's a matter of scale.
Well, right. It's like when I hear an increase, I'm thinking like it's making it sound like this is like we're reaching new thresholds. We're it's getting to a scary level.
Well, is
not
it only newsworthy to you if we're breaking records?
that would mean that it's outside of the norm. It doesn't mean that I think that any number is good. But it's
I
like,
see what you're saying, but what's happening is that you're claiming that there's a norm for that. It's like normal for there to be a rise in Jewish and anti-Jewish hate crimes.
I'm not saying there's a normal to have a rise. I'm saying there's a number that we've been around, and any number is bad, obviously. But when you're saying like it's on the rise, it's like it makes me think, I'm like, holy shit, like it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
Okay. So yes, however, I think it's important to note when things have been improving but then go bad, right? So like, oh, anti-Semitic crimes are on the rise again. It's like, well, it's like, what are you saying? Like, oh, these things just happen, babe. It goes up, it goes down. Sometimes we don't.
Well, I'm not saying that, but to say,
sometimes we do.
But hold on, I'm not saying that. But to say it's newsworthy, I would wager that you could find any stat for any group of people and be like, oh, it raised since last year. Okay. And that means we're in
a story.
I don't know. Is that something we need every time it happens? Like, as long as this sounds so fucking insensitive. I'm saying out loud. Like, I feel like you're making me, but I'm just saying, like, we're gonna have this fear mongering that like everything's getting worse all the fucking time, and it's getting beyond like saving, and it's like on these new levels that are irreparable, or like I don't fucking know. It just seems weird to like make it seem like it's worse than it is. Fuck. I don't even like saying it.
It is worse than it was. It's just that the level of time scale differs, right? They're saying it's worse than it has been in the last few years, right?
Yeah, but it's better than it has been.
Well,
but it's still better than it was 20 years ago.
Okay. So should all news reports about this be tempered by that sort of? Should all that information be available in the headline?
No, but are you telling me that headline isn't trying to do a fear mongering gotcha? Like,
yeah,
hey,
yes, I understand. Yeah, headlines are shit, right?
That's
fucking
why
Twitter sucks.
Yeah, I just fucking hate the news where it's just like the reason they're posting that is because it gets them views. It's not because they want to inform people like, hey, this has actually happened. It's like, hey, click me, be scared. This is happening.
However, I do believe it's newsworthy. It's worth noting. It's worth being aware of that these sorts of things are occurring, right? You'd want to know. I'd want to know. Oh, apparently, there's more anti-Semitic crimes this past whatever, right? Just like you would want to know. Oh, like how are we doing on mass shootings? Are they more or less? What are we doing? Are we improving? Are we not improving?
Yeah, I guess you're right. I just it's the headlines that get me, bro.
I know, Barbarian. It gets you.
All right.
Okay, 12.
What did you give me? You gave me Barbarian too. Yeah, okay. 12. Cop City Atlanta exists.
True.
Yeah, I guess. Yet, I don't know what I don't know what that's implying exactly. What's Cop City?
Okay, so Cop City is a training facility, like $85 million training facility that's being built for what?
I said that's a lot of money, $85 million.
Yeah, it's being built for police and firefighters as a training facility for them. Okay. And it's being built on land previously earmarked as a public park. Okay, which will be important in a moment. And let's see, what's the quote here? This is from one of the articles. This is a quote directly from the mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms. This training facility will not only help boost morale, retention, and recruitment of our public safety personnel, but will give us physical space to ensure that our officers and firefighters are receiving 21st century training rooted in respect and regard for the communities they serve. So, okay, one, I have questions just on this statement alone, right?
Yeah.
Because this is like the PR shit. This is supposed to make it sound as good as possible.
Sure. It doesn't sound good to you?
No, because one, how does a training facility boost morale and retention? Is a cop staying on the force because, oh man, I get to go to Cop City? Yeah, well, I would have quit, but shit, it's so much fun in Cop City.
Well, hold on. You don't think better equipment or better facilities is encouraging to people? Like if you go to a gym that's a piece of shit, or if you go to a gym that's nice, is one gonna influence you to want to go to the gym more?
I don't know. Do you think that should influence you on whether you're gonna stay a cop or not?
I don't. Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good to have. Isn't it? You want the cops? Listen, I know you're ACAB, okay, but hear me out. Don't you want a better facility so people have better training so they don't do shitty things?
Yes, however, the better training for cops has nothing to do with a fucking fake city. Okay,
It's not even-
It's about treating people as people. You don't need an $85 million facility to do that. You need to teach them empathy. You need to teach cops how to not go on power trips, right? How to not force a person to lay down in the fucking dirt, or else you will shoot them at the slightest provocation. You don't need a giant $85 million facility to do that. And that is the implication, rooted in respect and regard for the communities they serve. This is a playground for adults, for adults to run around and be Dirty Harry, to do combat roles.
Well, what are the firemen
Okay.
doing there?
I'm the first. Okay, so yeah, it's for firemen too. Fine, whatever.
You AFAB
know-
too?
We know cops and firefighters get along famously, but whatever.
Bro, I
So there
saw
was a-
Chicago Fire and Chicago PD. They were just fine.
Anyway, so there was environmental protests because, again, this was earmarked as public land, right?
Yeah.
And there were environmental protesters. Okay, a environmental protester was shot and killed outside of this facility. Okay, by the police. Mysteriously, there is zero body cam footage
What?
of this entire incident.
I didn't see that. Environmental protesters were at the facility and one got shot and killed?
Yes, I believe outside the facility. I don't know exactly where they were, but yes, he was shot and killed.
By an officer, assumingly?
Yes. Now they claim he was armed, right? But again, there is zero footage.
Yeah.
All right, about the event, right? And again, it's like this is exactly what the issue is. What is a facility going to do to prevent this sort of stuff, right? What is this $85 million space going to do to enforce accountability among the police? Nothing.
You don't think there's any accountability for within the police?
I think there's not that much. Yes.
Do you think it's improved in the past like 10 years that this has been an issue?
Yes, but simply because we've been on them.
Yeah, right.
There's been.
But
more
you do think there's
reporting
been
on it.
progress or positive?
Yeah, they're not doing it on their own. It's not like they're like, hey man, let's face it, we're pretty shitty. You know what? Maybe we got to clean ourselves up, right? It wasn't what happened. They weren't introspective, right, about the nature of their police work. Right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, it's. Do you think there's any? Do you have any empathy for police officers? It's a genuine question because you always see how you're ACAB. I don't know how you can be so like ACAB. And don't get me wrong, there's fucking terrible cops out there, and there's people who've done terrible fucking shit.
Okay, so first off, the issue with being ACAB or not being ACAB is that when some people hear ACAB, right, and it stands for all cops are bastards.
Yeah.
What they hear is all cops are evil, which is not the same thing. I don't believe all cops are evil.
Okay.
Right? But I will tell you that all cops are bastards. Why? Because the good ones cover for the bad ones.
Do all the good ones will always cover for all the bad
not
ones?
Always. But you know what? When the good ones,
But
decide to
hold on.
speak up,
Hold
they get
on.
shot in the face.
You're-
Like Serpico.
That's a movie.
It's based on a true story.
Oh, is it? I didn't know. But anyways, hold on. You said not all of them, but you're defining yourself as an ACAB, which is all cops are bastards. So then, like, even if it's 5% are good,
evil.
yes, but you're saying
Okay, but it's like, okay, you want to, okay, when you treat it like there's this universal, and I know the language is universal, but you treat it like if there's just one cop out there who's willing to stand up and serve his community and not put up with this nonsense, then by gum, you got to change that slogan, okay? And it can't be ACAB anymore. It has to be TVM cab. The vast majority of cops are bastards. Do you understand? You changed the slogan. It's not accurate.
my issue is that I think I'm not saying there aren't bad cops or shitty stuff doesn't happen, but I think I talked about this recently on a different topic. I think that There isn't news about the good cops. There isn't news about all the good shit they do. There isn't news about the self-sacrifice. There isn't news about like I guess you do hear about cops getting killed and shit. But like
oh, and that's the other point. That's okay. First off, my original I've said this multiple times to multiple people. The cops are a state-sanctioned gang. You understand? And here's why. If there's a horrific murder, right? The cops will come on the TV. They'll be like, okay, yep, we're tracking down all leads. I asked for patience in this matter. We're doing everything we possibly can. We're going to find this person, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the through line. That's the idea, right?
Yeah, cops come in and investigate.
If someone kills a cop, you have never seen a more rabid group of motherfuckers, right? They will go after. It's like there's no stopping them. We will leave no stone unturned. These motherfuckers you cannot get away with this, And it's like, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, that cop and anybody else who gets murdered, they're the same fucking people. Right? They're not different people.
They are, except that the cop is part of the group that's out there trying to do the good.
Yes, but the rapidity with which these people will go after someone who kills one of their own,
well, that's because
someone who's just killed.
But that's
ludicrous.
That's human nature. Would you not be more outraged if someone killed your mom versus some woman died in California?
They're not family, bro. They're coworkers.
They are family when you're risking your life with each other.
If someone kills Deborah at the job.
They are family when you literally are risking your life with each other, and your lives are in each other's hands. People want to gloss over the literal, like, not only are other people's lives in your hands, your teammates' lives are in each other's hands. It's a fucking, anytime people's lives are in your hands, the responsibility and the terrifying degree of what you need to do for that job, like we were talking about with nurses and doctors.
It's not the most dangerous job in America.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be the most dangerous one. You're volunteering to go in front of other human beings who will kill you. It's not like okay, maybe the most dangerous job is like what, like I don't know, like a lineman or something else like that, a coal miner or something like that. Those are accidents, and those are terrible too. But this is like you're going into other human beings' fire lines.
Okay. First off, you're painting this like there's an active war out there. Every day there's a war.
It doesn't have to be every day. If it's once a year, that's more than I could do. I don't think you'd be signing up for that.
I'm not signing up for it, okay? But these people do sign up for it, and it's like it gives them carte blanche to do whatever the fuck they want. I'm done with that nonsense.
I don't think it's carte blanche to do whatever you want. But dude, I don't think you are appreciating or empathizing with the danger that these people are putting themselves in for, even if they are signing up for it. Like, what do you want? You don't want cops? You want no cops at all? Is that the solution? Like, what's the ideal solution here for cops?
Real accountability, right? Like, for instance, like,
yeah, we can have better
right?
accountability for sure.
Because police unions have been fighting against anybody holding them accountable for anything aside from themselves for a very long time, right?
Okay.
There is very few groups of people who believe they are above the law more than fucking cops. It's like, are you kidding me? Politicians and cops, that's where it is, right? And cops are like the blue collar versions of politicians.
Cops are the blue collar version of politicians. I mean, maybe some of them, or maybe that's like this. I don't know. I know a couple cops. They're not these like bad people that are like. You say all cops are bastards because of what you think, but it does feel like you think cops are evil.
I didn't say cops are evil.
I know. You're saying that
if you see a buddy of yours beat the fuck out of somebody, right, for giving them lip, okay, and you don't say anything, you're a bastard. Do you understand?
Yes,
you're a bastard.
But do you know that all cops do that?
If you witness it and you don't say shit, you're a bastard. And it happens all the time. That's one of the reasons why we have that this was such a big issue, is because cops across the board were getting away with excessive force and straight up murdering people and not being held accountable. Do you understand?
That's not
that these
all
bad apples,
cops.
quote unquote, that not these bad apples kept cropping up. Do you understand? The cop that killed Tamir Rice just got another job as a cop in a different place. Do you understand? Every fucking cop at his new job should have stood up and said, "Get this fucker out of my goddamn precinct." In Buffalo, during a protest, we had a cop shove an old man to the ground, break his fucking head open, okay? And in the video, and a cop right next to him grabbed the cop who pushed him, because the cop who pushed this old man over knew he fucked up. You can see it right in the video. And he goes to like give aid to this person, and the other cop just grabs him and moves him along. No. Just keep moving. All right. And when they wanted to make this person accountable to just shoving this old man on the ground who wasn't a danger to anybody, he was just a protester, right, during the BLM movement, they held a protest. The cops held a protest to deny charges being brought up against him. It's nonsense, bro.
I don't think that's representative of all cops. You're seeing the worst of the worst in the news.
Keep saying this, but every time, in different states, different places, it keeps happening.
So that means
at some point we can't just rely on this bad apple nonsense, right? If you think if I'm spouting nonsense for saying ACAB, I think you're spouting nonsense for saying it's just once in a while.
I didn't say it's once in a while. I didn't say any of that.
Shit happens, the police union comes out in full defense of whatever this person did. Only in the absolute most egregious instances will they cut a motherfucker loose.
I don't know enough to like say which ones, like how often that happens or whatever, but I know that it's not all of them. You're seeing the worst of the worst because it gets plastered on fucking news media and shit like that. But what percentage is that?
When that shit happens, it should get plastered.
That's fine. I agree. That's good. Let's work on accountability. Does that mean that that's 1%, 10%, 50%, 80%, 100% of the cop force? How many? Because you're saying it's 100. You're saying it's 100 of all cops everywhere are not only like okay with this, they're supporting it or participating in it.
They're passively letting it happen. That's what I'm saying. Participating in it would make them evil. Not saying anything when it goes down, right, would qualify to the level of bastard, right?
Oh, so how about all the cops who are in cities where that's not happening? Or small towns?
Okay. Fine.
Do you think it happens in small towns and everywhere?
I'm not in every police department, right? But the idea is that I'm not going to treat cops with some sort of reverence every time I meet one. Okay? I'm going to treat them with suspicion, because they hold an immense amount of power, and even if they don't rise to the level of beating the fuck out of somebody, they're more than willing to abuse it, right? And so I don't know what kind of cop that is when I meet one. Am I gonna deal with a dick, or am I gonna deal with someone who like takes their job as a public servant seriously?
I'm not saying you have to treat them with reverence, but you're doing the complete opposite. You're just assuming everyone's a bastard.
They demand, because that's. Yes, you say that like I'm like being a bastard is the worst thing anyone could be in the history of life.
No, I'm
not saying that.
You're just broad stroking. You're doing like it's like equivalent to like bigotry. You're seeing a couple of negative things or whatever it is, even if it's 25%.
Just a couple. It's just a couple. Everybody.
Say it's 25%. Say it's 25%, and you're saying 100% are like that. I'm
saying we should treat 100% like that until they can be shown that, you know what, they're willing to take it seriously.
To take what seriously?
To take excessive force, racial profiling, all the shit cops do, to take their own behavior seriously, to take accountability for their own actions, which they do not do, right? Anytime a cop is suspected of doing anything above and beyond, a police union comes out and defends anything they do, right?
But hold on. So if we want better quality police officers, isn't it better to have a higher quality training facility?
Quality how?
For what?
Because it's quality in the nature of the teaching, right? If it's just if the facility is just for shootouts, right, or how to do SWAT maneuvers, then no, it's not. But you know what? You don't need a facility to tell people to teach officers how to treat people with some manner of respect.
I agree. And I think, I don't think all of them are out there to do these power moves. Like, there's dick ones for sure, but I think some of them are just trying to get through the fucking day, and just trying to maybe be helpful, or go to the domestic abuse call for the 5th time this month.
You know what? I'm not saying I am not saying it's an easy job, okay? But what I am saying is that there are plenty of police officers who sign up for it for the wrong reasons, right?
For sure there are.
You don't. I think this is a bigger topic than issue 12 of a 13.
I knew it was gonna get in a little bit of ACAB. That's okay. We can pin it. We can step away from it.
But that's the thing. Until I'm going to treat cops with suspicion until they have real accountability. Until they have to answer to people that are not themselves for things that they do. Because that's currently not how that's not how it works in America.
What is it? Okay, just real quick and then we'll move on.
Especially when they're armed to the degree that they're armed, right? The militarization of the police is a serious issue here in America, where they just sort of get stuff wholesale from the military, right?
Well, that's because our citizens are also armed to the teeth.
Yeah, okay, another problem. I mean,
well, that's a whole different kind of worms. But okay, just answer this or whatever, and then we'll move on. What does an appropriate amount of accountability for cops look like to you, so that you won't think ACAB, or you won't think you won't be suspicious of everyone? Like you said, I'm gonna be suspicious until there's better accountability. What does that look like to you? How does that work?
Issues with police, right, or accusations of
mistreatment,
right?
Yeah.
Are investigated by an elected group that's
like a third party
of the police. Yes, and a lot of cities, or not a lot of, but some cities have sort of like quote unquote community oversight, but they have no power. They have no actual jurisdiction. They can just weigh in. And
so they'd be like, "Oh, this was wrong," but it doesn't.
It doesn't.
There's no
matter.
way.
There's no action taken, right? So until we have actual accountability for the actions of the police, we can't. Why should I put my life in someone's hands? Right?
Isn't that what like
every time you don't need to see many, right? All you have to do is watch a couple of videos of some guy getting shot in his fucking car or right outside, right, for doing everything the police say, right? To just wonder, well, should I even listen to this motherfucker? What's happening, right? I could just die.
Isn't that what internal affairs is supposed to do? Is like hold the accountability?
Yeah.
You don't think that's sufficient or
internal investigations are always a little sus.
Yeah. So you want an actual like entity, like a police force, police accountability group or whatever.
Yeah, someone that has the power to say you get to keep your job or not.
Who's going to police them?
They're elected, so us.
Okay. Not appointed?
No, not appointed. We're not Jackson City here.
Okay. That was good. Number 13.
Also, I just want to make this point, right?
Yeah.
It was said in the chat. Larla said you got to give respect to get respect. And you know what? I agree. But I don't have a gun. Okay? I'm not allowed to just shoot anybody. So there's I want a little given towards me before I give any.
Yeah. That's true. Well, we'll leave it. We'll leave it. Number 13, books are being mass banned in schools and government is trying to control education. I think this is true. Like I was looking and it looks like there's constantly being books banned, but it's like it's not a universal ban across the country. It's just like individual schools are like, hey, we're banning this one, or maybe statewide.
Yes, so book bannings are up from what I could find. This again is another thing where like no one really keeps tabs on this. One of the only organizations to catalog the book banning is the American Library Association.
ALA, that's what I found too.
So it's completely voluntary of reporting. So any reports that come in, it's
more than that.
Sorry, it's likely that there's way more of that happening. Most book bannings, a lot of people imagine it to be like this like government statewide or national censorship of books.
Yeah.
And if that's not happening, then it doesn't really matter. But that's not what happens, right? Traditionally, what someone does is they will challenge a book in like an elementary or middle school or even a high school, and they'll say, "Hey, we don't like the content of these books. Please take it off the shelf."
Yeah.
Okay. And usually, if it's a good school district, there's a process by which they'll go through, and there'll be a hearing, and then whatever decision is made is made.
Wait, okay? who gets to decide in that scenario?
It depends. It's usually the school board, sometimes administration.
And then real quick, did you ever have to go through this?
No one had challenged a book at one of my libraries.
Okay.
Did I tell the chat the story about the woman who called concerned about what her daughter did on the computer?
Wait, did you tell me? It sounds familiar, but I can't think of what
I did tell you, but I don't know if I told the
Tell a story. Tell a story.
That's the closest I had. But anyway, book censorship is on the rise, and I feel like it definitely has to do a lot of the challenges have to do with LGBTQ issues. People don't want to talk about they don't want these ideas, quote unquote, exposed to children. They want to frame it as they're sexual in nature, even though they have nothing to do with it, right? Like even just picture books of two penguin dads or whatever the fuck.
I did see that one. There. Yeah.
So yeah, there is that going around. It is concerning. I mean, I think I have my own issues on this, which are way more nuanced, because I feel like the ALA isn't exactly as radical as they should be about defending freedom of information with regards to libraries. They kind of let them
just watch it happen.
Go. Yeah, they have banned Book Week and they bring awareness to it, but they're not really fighting it on any serious degree.
It's on this website that everyone in chat just heard about.
Yeah. So it's concerning. It definitely is. I feel like I think this should make this woman's list
as fascism.
Yes, because it is a effort to censor information that you don't like for everybody else. It's not just I don't want my kid reading this. It's I don't want any kid reading this.
Yeah.
And that to me is inherently dangerous.
Okay, I got a couple questions. One.
Okay.
But this isn't done by the government, right? This is done by the school board then?
Yeah, but the school board if it's a public school, the public school board is the government. You have to understand that.
Isn't it? Well, I guess, but isn't it like voted? Aren't these people from the community usually?
Yes, but technically so is your state government.
Yeah, but fuck them.
Yeah, I know you want to separate. I know you want to separate the idea that people in the government are not us, right? And that people on a school board are. But it's the same shit.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It feels different in my mind. But
school bans a book, then that's censorship. Censorship doesn't even require government involvement. People like to believe that as well.
What
private school can censor their own collection?
What other books have been like? This seems like a conservative thing, right? Conservatives are doing it for LGBT stuff.
Generally, yes.
Yeah.
I can't think of a liberal one.
Does
generally the liberal idea is, and I believe this is the correct idea, you counter ideas you don't like with your own ideas.
Yeah, that's a great idea. What about I thought, didn't they censor? Didn't you show me something how they're rewriting books?
Oh yeah, well yeah, that would be the liberal version.
Well, they're just rewriting them.
Yeah, they re-edited Roald Dahl's some of Roald Dahl's selections to have more inclusive language. I disagree with that as well. I think that's dangerous. If I mean, I think Raoul Dahl is. I think there's evidence that he was racist, or maybe he was. I might have been an anti-Semite. I don't know. However, regardless of who he was as a person, regardless of even if he was good or bad, like his writing is an artifact of the time it came from.
Yeah.
Why are you changing it for modern? Like, I guess I understand why they're doing it,
You just
right?
disagree with it.
Yeah, because they disagree with it, but it's like you got to let it stand, babe. Right? Like that's what it is.
What
You know? It's
s-
like George. It's like Lucas editing the fucking Star Wars films. Like, it's nonsense.
what but there has to be a line for what we allow in a school library, right?
Yes.
So like
However,
what does that line look
we
like?
leave that up to we usually generally leave that up to the discretion of the librarian, right? Who, went to school for that sort of business. What is the line appropriate for that age group? Right?
Yeah. Well, I'm saying like,
Um,
is 50 Shades of Grey okay in a middle school,
No.
a high
And
school?
it's rare. I'm not going to say it shouldn't be in a high school. I don't think you're going to find it in any high schools. I mean, there may be, I'm sure you could find a couple across America in which 50 Shades of Grey is there.
Yeah.
But in general, it's probably not. However, this needs to be said, and is this is something that people don't want to wrestle with. Children, and by this I mean teenagers, have sex.
Well, yeah.
Teenagers think about sex all the time. All right. I remember when I was 13, I didn't really think about anything else.
Stas,
Okay. So the literature
Stas.
is going to what?
You're acting like that's changed.
No, it's not changed. It's that adults want to believe it. They forget it happened. They want to believe it doesn't exist because they want the media. They want the media that children are exposed to be as saccharine and as free of any sexual talk as possible. They have issues with any mention of, teens engaging in uncouth behavior. And it's like,
That's
no,
because they
man.
don't ever.
What?
They don't. Teenagers never do uncouth behavior.
Yeah. And it's like,
Little
we
saints.
can't pretend that this doesn't happen. So if we're going to write books for children, if we're going to write YA books, those books have to speak. They have to speak truth. They have to have things about the nature of existence as a teenager that ring true for people, right? And sometimes that involves sex, right? And that's why Looking for Alaska by John Green is a consistently challenged book because two kids have sex in it. And it's like, well, what do you want, right? And and on one level, it's tough to it's kind of it's like they use these instances where it's like you don't really want to talk about it, right? It's like I'm
Right.
not trying to, I'm not running a book talk with a bunch of kids and being like, let's talk about the sex.
Right. It's
What did you think about it? But it's an important moment of the book, right? And it's an important moment in a lot of books, or like a decision by a character whether or not to have sex, or what to do about a teen pregnancy, or what to do about this, or what to do about that,
Yeah.
right? That's like YA stuff, right? However, there's a lot of elementary stuff that gets challenged just because it like tells people like, hey, sometimes, Heather can have two mommies.
Dude, I saw.
It's like, well, yeah.
I saw one got. I think it was a Shel Silverstein. Stein.
Stein?
Yeah. Is it A Light in the Attic? Is that one of?
It's one of his books. Yes.
Yeah, and I think there was a poem in there about. It was like if you don't want to do the dishes, and it was something about like basically
That's
saying
one
like
of my favorite poems. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it got banned for that because people were like, I don't want this influencing
Yeah.
my
Shel
kids.
Silverstein is they're consistently challenged, right? Who is it? Doesn't want to do the dishes anymore. I forget what the girl's name was, but it's like, if you don't want to do the dishes and you drop one on the floor, they won't make you do the dishes anymore. And it's like, it's so childishly subversive.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, because let's be real. Children can be and often are devious.
Oh,
okay?
for sure. Dude, I see my 2-year-old niece already.
Yeah. So they can be devious. And that poem is just pointing that out. And it's like, you know, and it's like a lot of parents, they believe their child is an angel and they're not,
Right.
you know. And I'm, you know what? I'm also ACAB AKAB. All kids are bastards. And-
What the fuck, bro? Do we need to go down this road again? Kids are little shits, though. I will say that.
But it's like, yeah, I mean, that's even the nice one. There was a book that won the Newbery, and that's like the big prize for children's books.
Okay.
And it basically, it's basically about this kid who, like, she's adopted or whatever, and she runs to find her family, and she, you know, but you know, her real, quote unquote, real family is had it all the time, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
she's just finding her place in the world, right? And in the book, she's talking about this dog, her dog, right, who almost died because a snake bit it on the scrotum, right? And they use the word scrotum,
Wait.
but it's very clearly, like, in the book, she's relaying it like a kid would, because you know, like, an adult explained it to her, like the vet explained it to her, and it's like, oh, the dog bit it on, you know, the dog got bit on the scrotum, right? And just because they use the word scrotum, right,
Yeah.
they want it gone.
Well, that's wild because, like, do they are these kids not going to like sex ed class in 5th grade either?
Well, that was for that was like third graders, but
Oh,
even so,
well.
it's like it's a part of the body. There was no sexual connotation whatsoever,
Yeah.
right? There were dog balls.
I wonder if those kids ever go to bathroom by themselves.
And anyway, speaking of third grade, which is the Richard Ward year.
No way you got another Dickie Ward.
No, I don't have a Richard Ward story, but there was another kid, right, in my third grade, and I liked a girl in third grade. Her name was Danielle, right?
Good for you.
And she didn't like me. Okay,
Sorry, buddy.
This is long sordid goblin.
The start of the end.
Yeah, and there was this kid named Dennis. I don't forget what his last name was. Anyway, he made a joke. And I want to remind you, this is third grade. He made a joke, and I didn't even understand it at the time, that I got my condom stuck in Danielle.
Wait, what?
This is third grade.
He made a joke that his condom got stuck in Danielle?
That I got it stuck in her.
Your condom got stuck in Danielle?
Yes. Yes.
What did a
Because
third
he
grader
knew-
even hurt? Like,
Because he knew I liked her. And it was like, what?
how does a third grader know that happens?
Exactly. You have to understand that some children, that it's like they know way more than you think they know.
Well, the thing is, they're fucking sponges, bro. Like, all it takes is an older sibling, a parent says it on the phone, it's in a TV show that their parents are watching.
Yes, I know. I understand how it happens, but it's like
No, I'm just agreeing with you. It's like people don't.
But it's like that was like a level of understanding that's like, this kid knew way too much about it for 9 years old. Something was wrong. Something was wrong there and needed to be investigated.
Yeah, buddy. I bet you Dennis laid a lot of pipe.
I hope Dennis is alive. That's all I can say. I'm not sure. I hope he hasn't had a rough go of it, but I have my suspicions.
That's hilarious. Good for Dennis, you know? Yeah, but a book banning, the thing is there a line where book banning needs to happen? Yes. Is it here? Is this good? Probably not.
Generally, I don't like, you know what? I'm not having an issue with the fucking with a copy of Mein Kampf in a high school library. Like, some of these books are historical artifacts.
Well, yeah.
You should understand what people are saying.
The thing is, who would even read that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, in high school, there's probably not a huge draw for, maybe you get a history buff or something like that. I wish I was more interested in that shit when I was younger. Or pursuant of knowledge. But I feel like half those books in a high school, they don't even get no one even checks them out.
There's tons of books no one fucking bothers with.
Yeah. I remember when we were in high school, I think it was It by Stephen King was in there. And everyone like somehow came, like maybe it was like freshman year, or maybe it was even 8th grade. I don't know. Because we had a shared library. It must have been like 8th grade. And it got around the school that like, oh, there was like this page. If you went to page,
a very disturbing sex scene in It.
Yeah, you'd go to page like 232 and there was like, oh, they talk about boobies and stuff.
Yeah.
It was all the rage for a day or two, bro.
Yeah, I know. It's like, it's just a flash in the pan though. It's like no one's, like people are so concerned.
Oh
about
no,
it.
that
Like, as
shaped
soon
my
as they
entire
learn about
sexual.
boobs, and it's like, sir, ma'am, you want your child to learn about sex from a book. Like, you don't want them to be learning about it from a party they're going to. You know
Well,
what I mean?
the real
Like,
kicker is
there's no safer place.
if you don't think that these kids are finding much worse on the internet with their fucking smartphones at 11, I think you're a little delusional.
Yeah, I agree. But again, it happens. And yet I agree with this woman. This is fascism.
Yeah,
Book banning is fascism. Let's
book banning
let's cool our jets, huh?
book banning is a bad look for sure. We did it. We did all 13, buddy.
We did it.
I keep scrolling past
with a brief ACAB interlude in which I have to defend my stance on the police.
It's okay. I had to defend
An institution which came out of slave catchers.
you need the
BTW.
police. You're not going to get rid of them.
Get me Kai. Get me Kai, who hates them policy enforcers, you know?
Wait, who's Kai?
The traveling, the homeless kid, smash, smash, smash. You remember that meme?
Oh, wait. Oh, Kai.
He hit this guy over with a hammer. He hit this guy over the head with a hammer.
No, a skateboard, wasn't it?
I thought it was a hammer.
The hatchet?
Oh, back of a hatchet, maybe?
Oh, yeah, Kai. What the fuck? I'm just barely, like, I can't fully remember it, but he definitely had that, like, that surfer accent, right?
Yes.
Fucking Kai, that's your go-to?
It was a joke.
I know, but I'm just saying that bro's smoking
But
so
in
much
the
weed.
video, he makes a distinction between like the sheriff, like a sheriff's office, and the police, right?
Kai
Like,
did?
yes. Like, one is interested in just maintaining order and making sure nothing happens in his fucking town, and the other one wants to, do whatever they can to fuck you over.
Apparently that guy was wiser than I realized, and I need to revisit that video.
Well, he's in jail now.
Well, because he spoke out against them.
No, he apparently beat his lawyer to death.
He beat his lawyer to death? That's the guy that's our...
No one's a monolith. You understand?
He beat his lawyer to death? Why your own lawyer?
Also, I'm not even going to go back to the ACAB nonsense. Whatever.
Also, reel it in. Wow, 13. Yeah, we're not doing 13 anymore. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, that was too much.
I had fun.
Yeah?
It was a great time. I learned a lot.
Did you? Or are you saying shit?
No, I genuinely did, actually. I mean, Ikwa alone opened up the can of worms, man. Cat doesn't go back in the box.
Well, a lot of so many societies have dealt with this issue. Australia's dealt with it with the Aborigines. New Zealand with the Maori. Like,
Well, how did they deal with it? Did they have...
well, I don't know for sure, but I feel like the Aborigines got as much of a raw deal as the Native Americans did.
Are they on, like, reservations and shit?
I think so.
They just like said, hey, you guys can have the bush. Go towards the center. We haven't fixed shit either. Yeah, because it's a fucking really complicated problem. And no one wants to deal with it. That's really what it is. I missed a lot when I stepped away.
Yeah, you may have, depending on
All
when
the
you
good
stepped away.
stuff. Moon is playing League. Yeah, she's played a couple times now. Get our prime minister to say sorry at least. Oh,
Yeah, well, even getting our government to say sorry is a very like pulling teeth. But again, whatever. That's a different one.
Stas is burnt out on politics.
Australian-U.S. relations.
Is there relations?
Yeah, they're basically a vassal state. In my opinion, they're like a vassal state for the U.S.
Really?
They will not. The very idea that Australia would do anything the U.S. doesn't want is a little ludicrous.
Didn't it start as a prisoner colony?
Yes, English prisoner colony.
Yeah, that how insane is that? We're like, oh, if you fuck up, we're gonna send you to the other side of the planet. Like, it just seems like not cost efficient. That's true. We're
Well-
scared of you. We're scared of ourselves. I mean, right? Kind of what it is. All right. Well, I mean, we can end it here. We're at almost 3 hours.
Sure.
You got any last words? YOLO 87, ACAB bitches.
I was thinking of what to say on the ish.
Yeah.
Any cops out there? Expect better out of your fellow officer, okay?
I think
about that?
that's, I think
Speak up.
I can agree with that. I think that's a good sentiment. Look at us coming together in the end. Bunch of bastards. How did the dialogue go? Oh, yeah.
Marla, it went. I mentioned this right at the top of the show. It's going. It's still going fine. There's a little less urgency on it, and I think that may have led to some dipping, a little dip. But otherwise, I'm keeping up with it. So I'm hoping. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Do you
I'm
think
gonna
you're
keep doing it?
you are gonna keep doing it?
Yes.
Do you have like a goal with it, or just kind of just keeping track and seeing where it goes?
I'm not sure about a goal. I just want to keep like, hey, it keeps me honest about what I'm eating. So it is in a way, it still acts as a, it still acts as a deterrent.
Let me
But
ask.
I'm not sure if this is as much of a deterrent as it used to be.
Yeah, when you had to show and tell everyone what you ate.
Chloe, you can check the VOD. It'll
That's
be
true. The VOD will be
there.
up. Let me ask you this though, Stas, real quick. How much protein?
No, I did not have 5 cookies. I am honest about what I put down. Okay. If I log it, I have,
If he eats it, he logs it.
and I'm still on 2 cookies.
We're not talking about
I
poop.
didn't secretly increase the amount of cookies again. The log has held me to 2. What were you going to say?
What's your protein? Has it increased at all?
I bought some nuts. That's a start.
That's good. Hey, there you go.
I've gone back to regular milk as opposed to oat milk because the
Oh.
caloric difference wasn't even that big of a deal. So there's some protein there.
Oh, you were doing it for the caloric? I thought it was for like the lactose issues.
It kind of was, but I switched back because it's like I'm not even sure if this is doing anything for me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I didn't notice a difference digestion wise between.
Oh,
the
so
oat
you're
milk
thinking the
and
lactose maybe
lactose
isn't
milk.
as big of an issue as
Yes,
you
I'm
were
hoping
hoping?
anyway. Yeah.
Well, we'll find out when you have the fucking butt blasters after that extra cup of milk, that one extra that gets you over the top, you know?
It's just I don't know, for whatever reason sometimes it don't work and I get it anyway.
It's strange. Well, it could be an accumulation thing. Like if you have a bunch in like a day or a couple days, it could be like no matter how much do you take a pill or you get Lactaid?
I get Lactaid milk.
Yeah, it could be that it just accumulates or whatever. Because I think Lactaid still has some of it in there, right?
Well,
It's just, like,
yeah,
drastically
it's just milk
reduced.
with the lactase enzyme put in it so that it's already pre-dealt, I don't know,
Oh,
Pre-
that's what it is. Pre-digested.
pre-digested, I guess, in a very weird way.
Yeah.
That makes it sound gross.
A little bit, but I remember when I was in Canada, we get it sometimes, and not because we needed it, but like I think we got it on accident one time, or maybe when you visited, we got it one time, and I was like, this
Yeah.
shit tastes good. It tastes different, but like in a good way.
Jen wasn't lactose intolerant.
I don't think maybe she was. I don't remember.
Aren't Asian communities more lactose intolerant than others?
That is so racist of you to say.
Because the milk wasn't a staple of their diets.
I don't know. I don't know. They didn't have any milk. They didn't have like some other animal milk.
No, that's what I had heard. I don't know if that is true or not. Maybe I said something racist.
Yep, and it was by mistake, and that makes you a racist.
It's the nature of the mistake.
I know. We're
Don't
just bringing it
equate me
full
with-
circle.
Don't equate me with Paul,
You're
state
you
representative of Tennessee.
might as well be Republican senator.
Yeah.
Can you
Can you
imagine?
imagine that kind of that alternative history where I'm a Republican senator?
Not only the shift,
What happened?
not only the shift in politics, but the
Shift in ambition.
the ambition.
Yeah, me glad handing and fucking going out and talking to people and raising money and all this other nonsense. Can you even imagine that kind of? I can't even imagine how I become that kind of person.
Can you imagine? And then at the peak, at the pinnacle
Blunt
of your
force
career,
trauma, maybe.
yeah, just one. You hit your mom dropped you one time when
Yeah.
you were younger, and it just
I
all
gotta
went.
go on the fucking biggest LSD trip of my life, and I come back a changed man.
You fucking tap into that Joe Rogan ayahuasca shit,
Yeah,
and it just
And it's
changed your
like-
life, man.
it's like motherfucker.
The Jaguar
Small
talked to
government's
me.
the way.
That'd be hilarious. And then you start kissing babies, trying to get that presidency.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Stas kissing babies? Come here, little baby.
I like babies.
Oh, but kids are bastards.
That's the easiest part.
I don't. But the thing is,
They grow up. That's the thing. When they hit 3, it's like, I don't know what I'm getting here.
oh, I
The
haven't.
babies are cute.
We haven't gotten to 3 yet. But the thing
Some
is,
children are annoying.
I don't disagree. For
That's
sure.
the thing about school. That was the thing about teaching. Is by and large, most of the kids are fine. Some of the kids are great and they're awesome. You know, it's like, yes, right. But then there's just 1 or 2 children that are annoying as fuck. All right, or it's like they're just little bastards and they ruin the experience for the entire class and you. Well, speaking personally.
One bad apple.
Yeah. One bad apple don't spoil the whole bunch, girl. Except wrong, Donny Osmond. They do.
Fucking Donnie. What an idiot. Shut the fuck up, Donnie. You're out of your element.
That's my favorite Osmonds song. That's probably also the only Osmond song I know.
I didn't know there was Osmond. In fact, I'm not even sure I knew there was a song before you sang it. You could have claimed credit for
if
it.
you listen to it, you'll be thinking this is the Jackson 5, but it's not. It's the Osmonds.
Really? That's
Mhm.
good for them to measure up to that. But
Well,
only
they
for
just
one
had a very
song.
similar sound.
They were only able to do it once.
They have others. I just don't know what they are.
But are they as good?
Probably not.
Those PETA kids are growing in numbers? What PETA kids? So I missed the D&D list. Yeah, it's in the past. His first salon was a kid's salon. Kids between 2 and 9 are the worst. Parents don't know how to control their kids in that age group.
Oh God, that reminds me, Chloe. I was out for a walk one day, right? And I'm just walking, minding my own,
yards.
and I passed by a Supercuts. Okay.
Nice.
And as I walk by this Supercuts, I see a child, I want to say about 7, 8 years old, writhing on the floor. Okay. Writhing on the floor of a Supercuts. Okay. And it's like, what? And I had to immediately, I was tempted to take a picture. But I didn't. Okay. And then this was in the day where I would rarely, like once or twice a year, post to Facebook. And I immediately had to go to Facebook and say, lesson number 1 in parenting. If you let your child writhe on the floor of a Supercuts, you fucked up. Okay? It's one of the most gross things you can let a kid do. It's like, why is that happening? It was so disgusting.
That poor mom.
Ugh. Ah. And then I had to post immediately. Rule number 2 is don't take pictures of strange children.
Don't be the creeper with a
picture. Yeah, I wanted to take a picture of that kid in the worst way.
That's good.
But I didn't. I realized it would have been a mistake before I did it.
That's good. You have the foresight.
Ah. Why is he on the floor?
Wait, your biggest problem was that it was gross because it was on the floor?
Yes, of a hair salon. It's like there's hair all over the place. Why is he on the floor rubbing his clothes on the ground?
I mean, it's not great, but that doesn't really bother me that much. Like, not
I
like,
know.
it's not like
'cause you're
super gross to me. That could be. I'd do it for a certain amount of money.
That's beyond. You don't.
It's
why
just
would you wanna get
hair.
on the floor.
I'm not saying I want to, but it's just
Someone
hair.
else's hair.
Okay, let me ask you this: would you rather you have to roll on the ground of a Supercuts, or you have to roll on the ground, in a cow yard?
Well, the Supercuts, but that doesn't mean the Supercuts is not bad.
No, I
They
know,
live in
I
a
know.
city.
I'm
There's
just-
no fucking cow
I'm
field.
just trying to gauge. Okay, how about the Supercuts or Subway restaurant floor.
Are you just trying to get me to gag? What are you doing?
Gag? Why would you gag?
Just the idea of laying down on that greasy floor.
Of what? Subway?
Yeah, the Subway, man.
So you do the hair, you do the supercuts.
I'm not sure. That's a tough one. Maybe the hair. Maybe
You have to go
supercuts.
hair. You're not getting. You're not getting.
But you don't let your child lay on the ground in public.
Oh, I agree. It shouldn't. You don't want that anywhere. At least it wasn't a hospital floor. Are those gross?
Yeah, man. Hospitals are dirty as fuck.
Really? Because they visually always feel very sterile.
Oh yeah, they have to keep some areas sterile, but it's like, well,
When I think hospital, I think like just very sterile and kind of minimalistic. Very, I don't know, unloving.
how many have you been in a lot of hospitals?
Not a lot, but I've been I'm fucking 30. How old? Mid-30s. I've seen in the inside of a hospital.
Yes, they were letting. There was no movement to like stop them. There was no like get off the floor. And this was not a big child, okay? And he wasn't throwing, from what I can tell, and this was years ago, so my memory's hazy. He wasn't throwing a fit, okay? He wasn't in the middle of a tantrum. He was just wiggling on the
Oh, he wasn't throwing a tantrum? I thought he was having a fit. I thought he was having a fit. So this kid was just like, he was just playing on the floor.
From what I could tell, yes. Okay, maybe writhe. I don't know. I don't think writhing has that a fit connotation. Okay,
Well,
but
two of us thought it was a
Okay.
fit.
No, he wasn't. From what I could tell, he wasn't having a fit. Maybe he was. I don't know, but it didn't appear to me to be that way. But even regardless, it's like, I don't know.
Well, it's not great. But I think also
Okay, man.
I think also when you get to parenting, you're just like,
You know what? If you were on it, how many times you been on an airplane?
I don't know, half a dozen.
Okay. Would you take your shoes off sometimes when you're in the flight?
Maybe.
Relax a little bit.
Maybe. I don't remember if I
Would you
did.
now let me ask you this. Would you ever decide to get up and go to the bathroom of an airplane without your shoes on?
No.
Okay. Well, at least you got something going for you, because I've seen that happen. I've seen people get up in their socks or bare feet and walk into an airplane bathroom.
Ooh, into the bathroom?
Yes.
Oh God, I don't know. The thing
People
is,
are way more gross than you than you can have ever imagined.
yeah, and they make your food, Stas. They prepare your food.
I don't eat food on airplanes.
I'm not talking about just airplanes. Where did you eat today?
Ted's.
You think Ted washed his hands?
I think Emma did a bang up job preparing my food.
Because it tasted good, but if you saw what happened behind the counter.
Well, that's the thing about Ted's, is you see them. You're standing right next to the grill.
Yeah, and where'd the hot dog
It's
come
all
from?
open.
Where'd the hot dog come from?
It came from beef hearts and lips.
No, it
Or
came from
pig
a
lips.
bag, and you know what was in that bag? Greasy
La
hands
cucaracha.
and bug. La cucaracha.
Yeah, I understand that. However, you can help. You can do your part, and your part is don't let your 7-year-old lay on the ground of a supercuts.
Sure.
No, that's the thing. It's all bad, Larla. Yes, sitting in the chair isn't exactly great either, but it's not the floor. Blah,
Nasty
blah.
concrete as flooring. Yeah. I don't know. I'm a big. Well, this is going back to the plane thing. I'm a big. Like, I don't. Do you wear socks at home, Stas?
I actually currently have them on, but generally no. I just go barefoot.
I hate stuff on my feet. Generally speaking, like I don't want things on my feet. I don't want socks. I don't want shoes. I'm a little hippy dippy from the ankles down, bro.
Okay, so I'm this sort of weird creature because I like going barefoot, and my parents, well, specifically Frank, he has an entire different set of sneakers for inside the house. He has house sneakers.
I
He changes out of his house sneakers to put his outside sneakers on and walk around.
I think
He
Frank's
does
the weird
wanna
one.
walk around yes, he is. He doesn't want to walk around in socks, or I don't think I've ever seen him in bare feet.
That's wild. Yeah. Do you have slippers? Do you ever use slippers?
As a child, I wore slippers. I used to get these big, like shaped, like novelty slippers every year. So one year they were shaped like taxi cabs. Another year they were shaped like gorilla heads. Another year they were shaped like whatever. You know what I mean?
Taxi cabs and
And
gorilla
I
heads,
would
huh?
get them as a Christmas gift, and I would wear those. But generally, no, I would not wear. Not
Actually,
anymore, I guess.
Knox does make a good point. I guess that is true. I just never really registered it. Mom does have a house pair of shoes, but I think she wears hers because she says that it like has the arch support, so it's like if she doesn't wear them, she gets foot pains or back pains or something like that. I think that's what she said.
Yeah, I think my dad has high arches too. That's apparently a thing. My father.
Oh, his is
and
too
my older
high?
sister have high arches. Or some
Oh
shit.
yeah, my mom has too low. She needs the support.
Well, well, what
She doesn't
the
wanna
fuck's a
walk-
low arch matter.
Well, it's just because it's a flat. You're walking flat footed. I don't
Okay,
fucking
well,
know.
what is this D&D? Was she gonna get flanked? for double
She
damage?
tried not to get flanked in the kitchen, bro.
Worried about sneak attack.
I don't know. I don't know. Commander Matter is
Commander.
Cortex.
Chloe, you're learning something new every day. Yes, that's Cortex.
Yep.
Okay, we are over 3 hours now.
We broke 3 hours, baby.
Okay, do we have a homework assignment for next week?
I don't have anything. You know what it was? There's so much prep for this week. I wasn't getting riled up about other things and writing it down. You know,
That's true.
kind of like the what is it? Idle hands are the devil's playthings. Yeah, keep my hands busy and I won't get angry. You know, I won't
Yeah.
berserk.
That's true.
I always miss the
Um,
stream. Damn it.
Well, you got the VOD.
There is a VOD,
Cortex.
yeah.
But yeah, you know what? Hey, some people work, or do other things. I don't know what you were doing, but hey, it happens.
Yeah, I think she was working.
One of these Wednesdays that you're not working,
You'll
we'll
get to
get
see
you
it.
on the show.
Yeah.
The guest spot.
Oh boy, that'll be interesting.
And I'm going to say this. I'll even promise this. I'll get Says to draw you.
You promise that?
Says will get you an avatar.
That's crazy. I don't want to watch a VOD. What are you, too good for the VOD? Yes, says he.
I'm committing Says to work.
The
okay?
ever rare onesie says he.
Okay, no homework this week. We'll just see what comes up. We'll recharge our creative batteries and get more material.
Says he with an eye. Now I'm cool. Yeah, we'll do something. We'll think of something fun. Maybe we'll do some art.
What?
Some online, some live art. Not
What are you
homework.
talking about?
We're gonna do some sort of segment where you and I have to draw.
Oh yeah, okay, fine.
That'd be cool. All right, guys, we're gonna end it.
Thanks for listening. Sitting through, I don't know how that fucking 13-point document went over with everybody, but hopefully you liked it.
Because it went over well because I picked good things.
And hopefully you
Hopefully-
sat through my mistrust of the police.
It was a good conversation.
Fine.
You like carrot Stas?
Yes. Raw.
I knew that. Did I show you the?
What does that have to do with anything? And why aren't we ending the stream?
We're
Why-
ending.
what
We're
was the-
ending. We're ending. Okay,
Oh,
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
All right, see you guys.
All right. Later, everybody.
We're gonna send him over Moon. She's still going. Go say happy birthday. It's been her birthday for like 2 weeks now.
Yeah. How long is she going to do this thing?
As long as people keep giving her money.
Jesus H.
Yeah. She's had to have made so much money.
Well, good for her, but I don't know. I don't know. There's got to be a point where it's like, okay,
Bro, if you're getting paid $1 a minute, when do you stop?
I guess. Even accounting for sleeping?
No, she pauses it during sleep.
No, it's still going.
She keeps the stream on. Yeah, she's making $1 a minute. She keeps the stream on, but
Why are we still? Why are we? I thought we stopped the stream already.
no, we didn't.
The fuck?
Okay, we're sending you Moon. Go say hi to Moon.